Chapter 661. How is that possible? However, now is not the time to talk about this. Wu Yanzi, who had walked over, looked at Liao Bufan and said impatiently, the person who left just now was a genuine venerable great array master. However, I didn't expect that you guys would know each other. Speaking of this, Wu Yanzi became more and more agitated, so, this time you must help me. You must help me find him. I have a lot of things to ask him about the array back then. I also have, hearing Wu Yanzi talking non-stop, he couldn't refute him even if he wanted to. However, hearing him say this, Liao Bufan directly roared to calm him down. Sure enough, this method was very effective. As soon as Liao Bufan spoke, Wu Yanzi immediately shut his mouth and stopped talking. His eyes stared at him with a puzzled expression. That, Wu Yanzi, I can't help you just because I want to. You saw it too. That person is only familiar with my Jun, and Yuning. So, forgive me for not being able to help you. At this moment, Liao Bufan said this, but he had other intentions in his heart. Damn, I haven't been able to get in touch with such an expert yet. Would I be stupid to help you? Of course, these words could only be said in his heart. Although the two of them were friends, Wu Yanzi was a supreme-level array master after all. It wouldn't be good to offend him. You. Hearing Liao Bufan's words, Wu Yanzi looked at Liao Jun with a troubled expression. His eyes were filled with pity and he begged Liao Jun and Yuning to help him. At this moment, Liao Jun and Yuning felt Wu Yanzi's gaze. Immediately, they were startled and stopped him with a troubled expression. Senior Wu Yanzi, I really can't help you with this matter. After all, Lin Rei and I are only familiar with each other and we don't have a deep relationship. So, I'm sorry, you should find someone else. Hearing that they had already made things clear, Wu Yanzi naturally knew that it was impossible for them to talk about this matter. So, he could only give up in the end. Sigh. Forget it. Since it's like this, then forget it. As he spoke, Wu Yanzi seemed to have aged 10 years. His entire person seemed to have become much more dispirited. Liao Bufan couldn't bear to see Wu Yanzi's current appearance. After all, the two of them had been good friends for many years. Liao Bufan thought of the words Lin Rei had said to Zhou Tongzi before he left. Well, old man, I can't introduce you to Lin Rei. After all, I'm not familiar with him. However, he's already headed to the north. Why don't you go take a look? Maybe you'll meet him there. Oh. After hearing Liao Bufan's words, the originally dispirited Wu Yanzi's expression suddenly brightened. He became much more spirited and the dispirited aura from before disappeared at this moment. Well, you should go. Maybe you'll meet him. Although I don't know if he's a venerable level array master, if you go, you might meet him. That would be great. If you don't meet him, then you can only blame your bad luck. Speaking up to this point, Liao Bufan had already spoken up to here. As for anything else, he didn't know. Alright, let's leave this matter at that for now. I still have to return to the sect. I won't be in the sect for a while. I'm afraid that group of brats will be in a mess. After saying that, Liao Bufan didn't wait for Wu Yanzi's reply. He waved his hand and called out to the disciples behind him. Then, he activated his cultivation and soared into the sky, disappearing in front of everyone's eyes. As the saying goes, they came in a hurry and left in a hurry. Just like that, the people of the Falling Star Pavilion disappeared from everyone's sight. On the other side, Yun Yan looked at Liao Bufan's actions and frowned. She remembered Wu Yanzi's question and instantly became anxious. Little girl, you're very much like Lin Rei. Sure enough, just as Yun Yan was about to retreat, Wu Yanzi's questioning voice entered her ears. What the F***ck, what I'm afraid of is happening. Hearing Wu Yanzi's question, Yun Yan didn't reply for a moment. She looked at the disciples behind her and quickly retreated into the distance, disappearing from everyone's sight. Seeing this scene, Wu Yanzi was stunned and his heart was filled with helplessness. Sigh. Forget it, since I already know where Lin Ray went, I'll go directly to the north. I originally wanted to go somewhere else, but I didn't expect to encounter this situation. Since that's the case, that matter isn't important anymore. Thinking of this, Wu Yanzi looked towards the north and his gaze became determined. Then, he activated his cultivation and his body instantly disappeared. After this battle, Lin Ray's name could be said to have shaken the realm of the gods. Because of Lin Ray's last words to Zhou Tongzi, the entire realm of the gods knew where this mysterious expert went. As for Tianwei City, because of the existence of the secret territory, there was a sea of people. However, when the secret territory disappeared and everyone left, the entire Tianwei City fell into a deathly silence. After all, this was the intersection of the two realms. Here, killing people for treasures and engaging in prostitution were very common. Furthermore, this place wasn't under the jurisdiction of any sect or empire. Therefore, under normal circumstances, no one would be willing to come here. Time flew by like a white steed passing through a crack. After the incident at Tianwei City, a month had passed. In this month, Zhou Tongzi's efficiency greatly impressed Lin Ray. On the 5th day after Lin Ray left, the news that he was going to the north spread throughout the realm of the gods. Regarding this, Lin Ray was very satisfied. However, regarding this, Lin Ray wasn't the most manly person. Instead, it was the person that Lin Ray wanted people to know where he was going the most. At this moment, he was sitting in the main hall with a solemn expression on his face. At this moment, the tears in his eyes couldn't help but flow down at this moment. At this moment, in the main hall of the Xuanzong sect in the heavenly dragon mountain of Wuzhou in the north, the current sect master Lin Yun was looking at the people below with a smile on his face. He was very excited and seemed to be curious about the great thing that had happened. Uncle Bai, my father. My father is finally here. They are finally here. Ha ha ha, ha, yes, the young master is finally here. At this moment, a middle-aged man stood next to Lin Yun with a murderous look on his face. His expression was as excited as Lin Ray's, and his eyes were full of memories. Look at you. It's a good thing that the young master is back. Look at all of you. Why are you standing here? Why are you crying when the young master is back? On the other side, Dian Wei looked at everyone's appearance and roared at them angrily. However, as soon as Dian Wei said that, everyone stood there speechlessly and looked at him strangely. Why are you looking at me? Did I say something wrong? Dian Wei felt a little uncomfortable with everyone's strange expressions, so he immediately responded. Humph, blockhead, can't you mind your behavior? This is a meeting, not your kennel. If you don't behave yourself, don't blame my spear for being merciless. Looking at Dian Wei, Bai Qi looked helpless. In the end, he could only wave the spear in his hand to threaten him and make him behave. However, although this method seemed very rude, it was very effective. The moment Bai Qi finished speaking, Dian Wei shut his mouth and fell silent. Lin Yun, who was sitting in the middle, was very helpless about all the changes. Alas! After hundreds of years of fighting, it's still like this. Looking at the two people next to him, although he was helpless, he was very grateful to them. After all, they were the first batch of old officials who followed his father to conquer the world. They were also his teachers and elders. Okay, stop fooling around. This meeting is called to say that I want to send someone to welcome my father. I wonder if any of you are willing to. With a plop, the moment Lin Yun finished his words, all the people present knelt on the ground and said sincerely, "We're willing to go and welcome the young master back. Please grant us our wish, Sect Master." Looking at this scene, Lin Yun was stunned for a moment. It was the first time that he had seen such a scene since he took over the sect. Good. It's good that you have such intentions. However, not all of you can go this time. After all, this is the divinity, and many sects around us are coveting this place. So, not all of you can go. Hearing this, everyone was stunned. Their faces were filled with disappointment. However, this emotion quickly disappeared. After all, they had already expected this situation. Looking at everyone, Lin Yun said in a low voice with guilt, "This time, Uncle Bai and Uncle Dian Wei will welcome my father. You can bring the people of the dark group. They must miss my father very much. Take this opportunity to reunite." "Yes, we know. Please rest assured, Sect Master. After all, we will welcome the young master back." The moment Dian Wei and Bai Qi heard that, they were very excited. Thinking that they hadn't seen Lin Rei for a long time, they couldn't help but feel excited. One was Bai Qi, the god of slaughter, and the other was Dian Wei. Their killing intent was very strong. Looking at the two of them, Lin Yun smiled inwardly. It seems that my father can keep them in check. TSK, but this is also good. If I can find a chance to pass on the position of Sect Master to the next generation, I can cultivate with my father. In that case, at this moment, he looked at Dian Wei and Lin Yun as if they were two children. For a moment, Lin Yun thought of so many things that he didn't even know what he was thinking. Chapter 662. However, the idea was beautiful, but the reality was cruel. Just because he thought so, it did not mean that Lin Rei thought so too. "Alright, you can go now. I'll wait for you here." Seeing that there was nothing to do, Lin Yun waved at Dian Wei and Bai Li to let them leave. As for the people below, not long after Dian Wei and Bai Li left, they also left. After all, there was nothing to report here. Forget it. Let's not think about it. I'll wait for father to come back and discuss his abdication with him. At this moment, there was no one in the entire palace. Lin Yun sighed inwardly, then stood up and looked at the door. It's time to tell grandmother that father is back. I wonder what her expression will be like. With that, Lin Yun moved and disappeared from the palace in an instant. At this moment, Lin Rei, Lin Yun's father, naturally came to Tianliang City in Wuzhou. At this moment, not far from Tianliang City, Lin Rei was sitting on the back of the flaming tiger, looking at the city in front of him with anticipation with a smile on his face. "Young master, Tianliang City of Wuzhou is right in front of us. Should we go in or, to the side?" Ghostly sent out his divine sense. Upon seeing the name of the distant city, he asked Lin Li. At this moment, Ghostly's question seemed to have resonated with everyone. At this moment, everyone's eyes were focused on Lin Rei, as if they were anticipating his next words. Feeling everyone's nervous emotions, he knew what they were thinking. After all, in the past month, they had been moving forward non-stop without stopping for a moment. In the past, they would only sit down to eat when they were hungry. The rest of the time, they would be flying. Therefore, they cherished this city very much. They wanted to go in and take a look, eat something, rest, and do many, many things. Alright, let's go in and take a look. After all, this is the first time we've entered a city after coming to Wuzhou. Let's just wait here. I'm sure Yun will send someone to pick us up soon. Great. I can finally take a break. If it was as boring as before, I'm afraid that I would only be able to collect my corpse after a while. At this moment, everyone was like wild horses that had been freed from their stiff bodies. They felt completely different from before. It was as if they were sick just a moment ago, as if they were terminally ill, but the next moment, they were alive and kicking as if they had never been sick. They were full of energy and vitality. Lin Rei could not help but laugh at their current state. He did not expect this group of people to still have such a temperament. Cultivators were tranquil, pure of heart and few desires, but they were the complete opposite of tranquility. They were completely negative examples. Sigh. Lin Rei sighed. He didn't say anything else and squeezed the scarlet flame tiger between his legs. In an instant, he walked towards Tianliang City in front of him. Along the way, there were many cultivators. However, after feeling the aura coming from the scarlet flame tiger, everyone could not help but retreat to the side. Their eyes were filled with fear. Naturally, Lin Li could sense everyone's reaction, but he didn't show any expression. After all, the scarlet flaming tiger was extraordinary now. An emperor god realm demonic beast would attract a lot of attention no matter where it was. Moreover, especially after the scarlet flame tiger had absorbed the undying flame, its body carried a kind of pressure. This kind of pressure, even if it did not take the initiative to use its cultivation, the surrounding people who were weaker than it, whether they were demonic beasts or humans, would feel it and retreat. Huh, little tiger, standing next to you is impressive. Standing next to cultivators or demonic beasts with lower cultivation than you will make them retreat. Tell me, how does it feel? Woo. The scarlet flame tiger, who was walking, heard Lin Rei's question. For a moment, the scarlet flame tiger's eyes revealed a pitiful expression and said, "Young master, you can't say that." Oh. What do you mean? TSK, they are obviously the weak ones. Moreover, I don't feel that they are very strong now. At least, they are not as strong as young master and cannot protect you. Therefore, you can't blame me for this. If you want to blame someone, you can only blame them for being too weak. Hearing little tiger's words, Lin Rei laughed happily. To him, the little dragon was no longer a mount. It was his comrade, friend, and brother. After all, it had been following him since he was in the profound heaven continent. It had used its own strength and talent to reach its current level. Alright, let's go. This time, you are not weak anymore. Moreover, you don't need to be put away by me anymore. You are already strong enough to withstand one side and become a complete powerhouse. Yes, I understand. Hearing Lin Rei's words, little tiger laughed for a moment. His eyes were full of joy because what Lin Rei had just said was what he had always wanted to hear. Now that he had finally obtained Lin Rei's person, how could he not be happy? Bang! The sudden sound of weapons clashing immediately pulled Lin Rei out of his conversation with the scarlet flame tiger. Using his divine sense, he found that he had already arrived at the city gate. At this moment, the city gate of Tianliang City appeared in his divine sense. Compared to Tianwei City, this city was more than 3 to 4 times larger. Moreover, the guards at the gate were all cultivators of the divine guard realm. Just by looking at them, one could tell the size of the city. Not only that. Just the towering city wall that appeared in front of him was enough to show the grandeur and prosperity of this city. Looking at such a grand city, Lin Rei was momentarily stunned. Of course, it was only for a moment. Then, he regained his senses. Do the two of you need something? If not, quickly let us through. We still have important matters to attend to. This senior, we're trying to be busy. There are ordinary citizens in the city. If you enter with this person, I'm afraid, it will cause a commotion. So, senior, please. At this moment, the two of them looked at the giant beast that was almost as tall as the city gate. Coupled with the aura it emitted, they immediately knew that these people in front of them were not to be trifled with. However, when they thought of the citizens behind them, they had no choice but to stop them. However, from their words, one could tell that they were frightened to a certain extent. Otherwise, their voices would not tremble so violently. Moreover, Lin Rei's divine sense saw that the area between their pants was already wet. Seeing this, Lin Rei smiled embarrassedly and said, "All right, since you're like this, I'll agree." Thank you so much. At this moment, hearing Lin Rei's words, the two guards revealed excited expressions. However, at this moment, they did not dare to move. After all, being scared to the point of peeing was not something to be proud of. Hee, no need to thank me. You should hurry back and change your pants. Looking at the two of them, Lin Rei smiled and reached out to pat the scarlet tiger's forehead. He said calmly, "Little tiger, shrink a little. Just become the size of a normal tiger." Awoo. Awoo. At this moment, hearing Lin Rei's words, the scarlet tiger roared unwillingly. However, it could not disobey Lin Rei's orders. Although it was happy with its words, in the end, its body shrunk to the size of a normal tiger. However, even so, the scarlet tiger's body was still 2 meters long. It had no problem dragging Lin Rei. After that, Lin Rei turned to Xia Feng and the others behind him and said, "Let's go in." "Okay." The people behind him didn't even wait for Lin Li's words to finish before they overtook him and entered the city. Hee, sensing their actions, for a moment, Lin Rei smiled and did not say anything. After all, he had restrained them for a month. So, he did not stop them. Watching the crowd disappear, however, there was one person who did not leave from the beginning to the end. This person was Hong Lian, who had been following them from Tianwei City. In the past month, Lin Rei had told her many times to leave and search for her own opportunities, but she refused to leave. Using his divine sense, he looked at her. For a moment, Lin Rei shook his head helplessly and said, "Let's go. Come with me." "Yes. Yes." At this moment, Red Lotus, who had been standing behind Lin Li, had been silent this entire time. Upon hearing Lin Li's words, she hurriedly took a step forward with an excited look on her face. After responding, she followed Lin Li forward. "Hey. Look, that person is so strange. He's actually riding such a beautiful tiger, and there's even a woman as beautiful as a flower beside him. TSK, this person's luck is too deep. Tisk, who says so? If I were that person, I would definitely not let such a beauty walk on foot. Instead, I would let her sit on the tiger and move forward by herself." Awoo. Awoo, regarding the surrounding discussions. Lin Rei could naturally hear it clearly. Even the Scarlet Flame Tiger and Hong Lian could clearly hear the hatred. Lin Rei and Hong Lian were fine, but the Scarlet Flame Tiger could not bear it and roared at the surrounding people a few times. Its voice was filled with anger. Moreover, if Lin Rei had not suppressed the murderous aura that the Scarlet Flame Tiger had just revealed, he was afraid that it would have caused unnecessary misunderstandings. Be quiet. Let them say what they want to say. It doesn't hurt or itch anyway. They are all ordinary people. What do you think you can do to them? Hearing Lin Rei's reprimand, the Scarlet Flame Tiger sent a message to Lin Rei, feeling wronged. After saying the word it went completely silent. Look. Seeing how cute the Scarlet Flame Tiger was, for a moment, Lin Rei smiled and said, "So, in the future, don't be impulsive. You must be calm. This is the most important thing in cultivation. Calmly look at everything that happens, understand?" Chapter 663. Awoo. Yes, young master. In response, the Scarlet Flaming Tiger closed its mouth. Lin Li's persuasion had dissipated the anger it had felt earlier. You can leave in a few days. With that, Lin Rei patted Red Flaming Tiger's head and continued to walk forward. As for Red Lotus, she did not make a sound from the beginning to the end. She just stood at the side. She looked forward. Feeling Red Lotus's aura, Lin Rei smiled and asked, "When did you ascend from the immortal realm? Which sect are you in now? Looking at your cultivation, the sect you are in should not be a low-level sect." Hong Lian froze on the spot when she heard the sudden question. However, she quickly recovered from her daze and immediately strode forward to reply. 600 years ago. 600 years ago, I ascended from the immortal world. When I ascended, I met the sect master of the sect I'm currently in. Because I didn't know anything back then and the location of my ascension was also a little wrong, I ended up in a place where demonic beasts gathered. The sect master of that sect was there at that time, so he saved me. Since then, I've stayed in that sect and become a disciple. Oh. Hearing Red Lotus's explanation, Lin Rei frowned. According to what Red Lotus said, there was only one place to ascend in the entire realm of the gods. However, according to what Red Lotus said, there was only one place to ascend in the realm of the gods. It was possible that there was another place to ascend in the realm of the gods. It was just that some people did not know about it. Thinking of this, Lin Rei felt relieved. As for the place to ascend, he did not care about it. After all, he had already come to the realm of the gods. The place to ascend was no longer important to him. What about the sect? Which sect is it? Forgotten word sect, a second-grade sect in the realm of the gods. I think young master should not know about such a small sect. Hearing Red Lotus say the name of the sect, he was stunned. Forgotten word sect was just as Red Lotus said. He really did not know there was such a sect in the realm of the gods. However, it was rare for a true god realm cultivator who had just entered the divine world to become a divine emperor in just 600 years. Moreover, it was a second-grade sect. In this regard, Lin Rei was curious about this forgotten word sect. If he had time in the future, he might really go and take a look to see what kind of place this forgotten word sect was. Alright, since that's the case, that's good, Lin Rei said with a relieved expression on his face. By the way, when are you leaving? Since you already have a sect, you naturally don't need to follow me. After all, when we were in Tianxian, we already made it clear that you and I have nothing to do with each other. Thud. A strange sound rang out. Instantly, Linley frowned. He hurriedly sent out his divine sense, only to see Red Lotus kneeling on the ground. Linley was instantly stupefied. However, at this moment, she was kneeling on the street. Everyone around looked at them strangely. Lin Rei felt even more embarrassed. You, get up first. If you have something to say, we can talk about it. This sovereign doesn't remember teaching you how to kneel at the slightest provocation. After saying that, Linley stretched out his hand. Immediately, a surge of lightning-infused spiritual energy rushed out and formed a hand that pulled Hong Lian up from the ground. Young master, please don't chase Hong Lian away. Due to some matters back then, I somehow managed to regain the memories of my previous life. However, my memories of my resurrection in the future have all disappeared. However, when I parted ways with young master in the profound sky continent, this subordinate's memories were completely restored because of the distortion of space. Hearing Red Lotus's words, Lin Rei's divine sense trembled for a moment. Now he knew why Red Lotus was like that when they met in the immortal realm. When I recovered my memories, I wanted to commit suicide to apologize. However, when I remembered that I hadn't apologized to young master, I didn't use that strength. Later, after cultivating, I finally entered the immortal realm. Later, I met you and wanted to apologize. However, you didn't give me an explanation at that time, so it dragged on until now. After listening to Red Lotus's explanation, he didn't know what to do. If it was before, he would have had the nerve to chase her away. However, at this moment, he had already told her what happened back then. Looking at Red Lotus, whose face was covered in tears, Lin Rei's heart softened. Lin Rei felt a headache coming on. Alright, let's deal with this matter first. I won't chase you away. However, if you've thought it through, you can leave at any time. I won't stop you. He couldn't think of any other solution for Red Lotus. Perhaps this was the only way. After saying that, Lin Rei ignored her. Instead, he sat on the Scarlet Flame Tiger's back and walked forward. As for Red Lotus, when she heard that Lin Rei wasn't chasing her away, she was so moved that she couldn't speak. When she saw Lin Rei walk forward, she hurriedly followed him. The two of them didn't speak along the way. However, he had already become the focus of the entire Tianliang city. After all, the Scarlet Flame Tiger was riding a celestial the arch-demonic beast. Although its cultivation base had been suppressed, its might wasn't just for show. Furthermore, because it had absorbed the undying flame, every path that the Scarlet Flame Tiger took would be burned by a footprint. Linley had wanted to stop this, but he wasn't able to stop something like this. Lin Rei didn't have a chance when he saw the passers-by looking at his face. He just smiled and walked past. A talisman shop. Suddenly, right at this moment, just as Linley's divine sense flashed, a shop that piqued Linley's interest appeared within his divine sense. This shop was the talisman Dao that Lin Ray had missed in the information he had read. Previously, the little dragon had also said that it would help him find a cultivation technique related to the talisman Dao. He. Interesting. Since I'm here, I might as well go in and take a look. Ing and the others are still shopping anyway. As he thought about this, Lin Ray sent a voice transmission to the Scarlet Flame Tiger. Little tiger, let's go in and take a look. Let's see how strong their talisman Dao is. Awoo. Yes. Upon hearing Lin Ray's order, the Scarlet Flame Tiger didn't object. After roaring, it carried Lin Ray towards the talisman shop. Hey, young master, you're demonic beast. He can't enter the shop. Do you think we should? At that moment, two middle-aged men who looked like thugs rushed out of the talisman shop and pleaded with Lin Ray. Seeing this sudden turn of events, Lin Li was stupefied for a moment, especially when he saw the two muscular men in front of him. Clearly, they were muscular men, but their personalities truly were like that of a sissy. Instantly, Lin Li began to tremble in disgust. Heh, you guys are really funny. If you had put up a sign at the door and said that demonic beasts weren't allowed to enter, then wouldn't it have been fine? Now, you guys don't have a sign and are obstructing me like this. Tell me, are you sincere in going against me? At that moment, the two middle-aged men who were listening to Lin Ray were speechless for a moment. The word "I" hung on the tip of their tongue for a long time, but they couldn't say anything. For a moment, the two of them were anxious. Oh, you want to fight? What, you can't out-talk me, so you're using your fists instead? At that moment, the two of them really wanted to cry. They didn't think that the young man before them would be so difficult to deal with. What's going on? Just at that moment, just when the two middle-aged men were about to cry, a voice that carried the vicissitudes of life sounded from inside. Not long after, an old man with white hair and a youthful face walked out of the store. His face carried a solemn expression, as if he was the boss of the world, and he was the second in command. In that moment, Lin Ray's face became gloomy. He thought that the person who came out at that moment would be the same as before, but what he didn't expect was that the old man's words exceeded his imagination. Manager, it's like this. It was he who insisted on bringing demonic beasts into our talisman store. The two of us wanted to stop him, but he continued to pester us, so, the two of you prepared to fight him and use this to drive him out, right? We. At that moment, when they heard the old man's words, the two middle-aged men's faces were filled with shame. The cold sweat on their foreheads dripped onto the ground as if it didn't cost any money. Go back. Receive your punishment. If this matter happens again, then the two of you don't have to come back. Unfortunately, you left directly. Looking at the two of them, the old man didn't pay any attention to them after he finished speaking and waved his hand to dismiss them. Then, his gaze shifted to Lin Ray. However, at that moment, when the old man's gaze landed on the Scarlet Flame Tiger, he frowned and his eyes widened, as if he had seen something inconceivable. This one is the manager of the talisman store, Zhu Yuchang. I didn't know that senior had arrived. Please forgive me for not taking care of you properly. Don't worry, this matter will never happen again. Those two people, Seeing the manager's reaction and thinking of the changes he made after seeing the Scarlet Flame Tiger, he immediately understood the ins and outs of this matter. It turned out that the old man in front of him had seen through the Scarlet Flame Tiger's true cultivation. Instantly, Lin Ray revealed a trace of a smile. It's fine. Those who don't know are not guilty. As he spoke, Lin Ray pointed to the store and said, I wonder if I can enter the store to take a look. That's a pity. Of course you can. Please come in. At that moment, when he heard Lin Ray's words, he was instantly shocked. He immediately stepped aside and made an inviting gesture, inviting Lin Ray into the store. As for the manager's current actions, the passers-by, and the people in the store were all shocked. One had to know that the manager was someone with a lot of authority in the entire Tianliang city. Now that he was treating a young man like this, they couldn't help but be suspicious. Among this group of people, there was no lack of disciples from the aristocratic families of Tianliang city. They were even more concerned about this matter. Not for anything else, but for the manager of the talisman store to be so fearful, they couldn't let this go. This was because this could very likely affect the future development of their families. As he walked into the inner hall of the talisman shop, he saw a group of people. Behind this group of people, there were many talisman papers on the shelves. At this moment, Lin Li could clearly sense a pure yet destructive aura emanating from those talisman papers. Hiss, feeling this, Lin Rei couldn't help but suck in a breath of cold air. Then, he stretched out his hand and a suction force appeared. In an instant, a talisman paper with some indecipherable inscriptions appeared in Lin Rei's hand. "Hey, you!" At that moment, when the shop assistant standing at the side saw this scene, he instinctively stepped forward to stop it. However, the moment he stepped forward and spoke, the manager scolded him. "Humph, go back. This has nothing to do with you." Once these words were spoken, the shop assistant's face was filled with fear. He shrunk his neck and instantly retreated without saying another word. Ha! Feeling the current atmosphere in the store, Lin Rei laughed for a moment. Then, he asked the manager, "Is this a talisman?" Once Lin Rei asked this question, the manager was instantly stunned. He looked at Lin Rei with a puzzled expression. His eyes were filled with confusion. He couldn't understand why this mysterious person in front of him would ask such a question. It was as if he had never seen a talisman paper before. However, even so, the manager still replied, "Yes, this is a talisman. However, this is the lowest grade of talismans, a first-grade talisman." "Oh. First grade? Tell me about the grade of this talisman and how it came out." Hearing the words of the person in front of him, for a moment, the steward explained somewhat half-heartedly, "It's like this. Talismans are on the same level as formations, pills, and weapon refinement. However, talismans are the most mysterious of the 4 auxiliary arts." Continue. Hearing that the manager had stopped speaking, Lin Rei instantly smiled and allowed him to continue. He really wanted to know more about talismans. After all, he would be cultivating in the future. As for the grade of this talisman, it's even easier to explain. The talisman paper in your hand is a golden sword talisman. It was inscribed with metal-attributed spiritual energy and is a first-grade talisman. The first-grade talisman is the lowest grade of all talismans. At this point, the manager glanced sideways at Lin Rei. Although he was full of doubts, in front of such a powerful existence, he didn't dare to ask too much. Above the first-grade talisman, there are second-grade talismans, third-grade talismans, all the way up to ninth-grade talismans. Above the ninth-grade talisman, there is another grade, which is the super divine grade. However, a talisman master of this grade has never appeared in the entire divine realm. Therefore, let's not talk about this for now. Tisk tsk. I didn't expect talismans to be so powerful. Super divine grade, TSK, I really want to see what it has. At this moment, listening to the manager's explanation of the talisman, Lin Rei instantly began to look forward to the grade he would reach after cultivating the talisman. At this moment, he even began to fantasize about breaking through to the super divine grade and becoming the number 1 person in the entire world. TSK, super divine grade? TSK, how ignorant. At this moment, the little dragon's disdainful words entered Lin Rei's ears and instantly aroused Lin Rei's curiosity. "Tell me, what do you know? I know that you know more than this." Chapter 664. That's right. Godly transcendence isn't the highest. However, godly transcendence is the highest in the realm of the gods. Oh. Lin Rei perked up when he heard the little dragon's words. Then, he listened attentively to the little dragon's explanation of Talisman Dao. Yes, talisman Tao is a great Tao. It's no different from formations. If a person knows formations, it'll be more beneficial for his talisman Tao. After all, a long time ago, these two Taos were inseparable. Oh, Lin Rei sighed when he heard the little dragon's words. Then, he said, all right, let's wait until you tell me the talisman Tao cultivation method. It's a little inconvenient now. At this moment, Lin Rei felt the attention from the outside world. Moreover, he also felt some hidden auras approaching. Although their concealment methods were brilliant, they were useless against Lin Rei. Alright, go ahead. I'll try my best to find the talisman Tao cultivation method for you. I'll definitely give it to you when you return to the sect. Knowing Lin Rei's current situation, the little dragon didn't keep Lin Rei. He waved his hand and cut off the connection between the two of them. Phew. Returning to the real world, returning to his original body, he saw that everyone was staring at him, stupefied. Instantly, Lin Li's face was expressionless. He didn't care about the gazes at all. Oh right, do you have any high-grade talismans here? For example, the 9th grade talismans you mentioned. If you do, I'll definitely buy them at a high price. I wonder, senior, you're asking for it. At this moment, cold sweat broke out on the manager's forehead when he heard Lin Li's words. He blushed with shame as he said, although our talisman shop does business in the God realm, it's not that easy to obtain a 9th grade talisman. Moreover, there are very few 9th grade talisman masters in the entire God realm. Therefore, the purchase you mentioned, I'm afraid it's impossible. At this moment, after hearing the manager's words, Lin Li regained his calm and deep emotions after a brief moment of disappointment. He then said, all right. Since you don't have any, then forget it. However, give me some of the highest grade runes in your talisman shop. Of course. If it's all attributes, that's even better. Hearing these words, the manager's forehead was drenched in cold sweat. He was utterly speechless. Fuck, all attributes? Do you think a symbol master would have so many attributes? Of course, the manager couldn't say what he was thinking. He said fawningly, Senior, there's only one 6th grade rune in stock in the talisman shop. It's called the 6th Scenery Sword Rune. It's a rapid offensive rune. Its offensive power is comparable to that of a monarch god expert. Moreover, it's a verbal attack. Of course, this rune is only a one-time attack. After using it, the rune will completely disappear. Only one? Hearing that there was only one talisman in the store, and it was a 6th grade one at that, Lin Rei was very disappointed with this talisman store. He had said so much before, but it turned out that there was nothing here that he wanted. However, a 6th grade talisman was still a 6th grade talisman. Having a 6th grade talisman for research was better than having none. Thinking of this, Lin Rei said to the steward, all right, take out the grade 6 rune. I'm done for. SSS, as soon as Lin Rei's words left his mouth, he attracted strange gazes and gasps from the crowd. Lin Rei was a little confused about this. However, Lin Rei was confused. Although he was confused, he didn't take it to heart. Senior, this 6th grade talisman is very expensive. One 6th grade talisman costs 10 million black gold coins. Moreover, according to our store's rules, we don't accept credit. Therefore, Senior, you, Walala, just as the steward was hesitantly trying to persuade Lin Li, a strange sound rang out. The steward turned to look in front of him, and his eyes widened in shock. As for himself, he no longer knew where he was. At this moment, in front of the manager, a pile of small, shiny, black, golden mountains appeared in front of everyone. At this moment, not only the manager, but everyone else was also stunned. No one expected Lin Rei to pay in such a way. As for the manager, he was undoubtedly slapped in the face. A moment ago, he was still trying to persuade Qin Yun. However, before he could say anything, a pile of black gold coins appeared in front of him. This was truly a slap to the face of the manager. As for Linley, when he heard the manager's words, he didn't hesitate at all. Ever since he had come to the deity realm, he had been looked down upon by others at every moment. Lin Ray was not courteous. Although there were several 10 million black gold coins in his ring, he didn't use them. After using them, he threw out all the black gold coins in his ring. A total of 10 million black gold coins, no more, no less. This was what he had obtained from the auction house in the past. However, when he thought of giving Lin Tian so much money to set up the Heavenly Mysteries Pavilion, he felt his heart ache. However, when he thought of the Heavenly Mysteries Pavilion's use in the future, his heart that felt like it was bleeding felt a little better. Now, can you give me that 6th grade talisman? There are 10 million black gold coins in front of you. Can, at this moment, Lin Ray's words were like an imperial edict. After the manager heard it, he immediately stammered in response. Perhaps it was because of the gold coins before him, but the manager's face turned red and he appeared to be very excited. Go ahead. Looking at the manager, Lin Ray waved his hand, indicating for him to leave. As for himself, he didn't have the opportunity to face the strange gazes of the surrounding people. He walked to the side of the shelf and began to touch the runes one by one. At this moment, when he touched the runes with different attributes and different attack power, Lin Ray was immediately shocked. If the people he fought with in the past were to take out runes of 6th grade and above, he would have died countless times already. However, when he recalled the price of a 6th grade rune, he couldn't help but click his tongue. Because even he didn't have the wealth to use a 6th grade rune or above in battle. There was only one reason, and that was because he didn't have the money. However, because of this, he was even more eager to learn the Tao of talismans. Compared to medicinal pills, talismans were easier to sell. Furthermore, talismans were more expensive than medicinal pills. Furthermore, in his opinion, the cost of talismans wasn't high. Therefore, he was very eager to learn the Tao of talismans. Although he didn't have the concept of money, if he didn't have the money, then it would be really awkward. TSK, the person who created the Tao of talismans is truly a genius. He was actually able to hang an extremely powerful talisman on it. Moreover, he can reserve it for others to use. Alas, if I knew this would happen, I would have learned the Tao of talismans first. That way, I wouldn't have to live a bitter life every day. At this moment, the more Lin Ray thought about it, the more he felt wronged. However, if his words were to be heard by the people outside, they would definitely cry for their parents. Those brooms would chase after him and beat him up. He had mastered the Tao of alchemy, array, and blacksmithing. Now, he regretted it. Moreover, he was about to master the Tao of talismans. If such a person casually used a Tao of talismans on someone else, that person would probably be so surprised that he wouldn't be able to sleep every day. Moreover, he had already cultivated all 3 Tao to the honorable realm. Even if those old farts in the divine world heard about it, they would be so angry that they would vomit blood. Senior, this is the 6th grade rune that you wanted. Please keep it well. At this moment, just when Lin Ray was in a daze, the manager who went to retrieve the 6th grade rune came to Lin Ray's side and spoke softly and respectfully. Hearing this, Lin Ray immediately recovered from his daze. After all, the 6th grade rune was extremely important to him. Turning around, his divine sense landed on the manager's hand. He saw a box made of purple trembling wood with a grand level protective array on it. Ah, purple trembling wood. TSK, the talisman shop is really generous. This purple trembling wood is a good material for refining divine artifacts. It can be said that it's hard to find even with 1,000 gold coins. I didn't expect to see such a big piece here. It seems that I have underestimated your talisman shop. The moment he saw the box, Lin Ray was stunned. However, he quickly recovered and said to the manager. As he spoke, he reached out and took the box. You want to trap me with a grand level protective array? In your dreams. At this moment, Lin Ray didn't seem to be doing anything. In fact, the moment he took the wooden box, Lin Rei's divine sense instantly entered the array on the wooden box. Gotcha. At this moment, the array and the outside world were two different worlds. At this moment, the outside world was very clear, but inside the array, lightning flashed and thunder roared. It was a spectacular sight. Humph, boy, you're still too inexperienced to open the array that I set up. I saw this thing first. If you know what's good for you, leave quickly. Otherwise, I'll activate the array and you'll die without a complete corpse. The sudden appearance of this person and his words stunned Linley for a moment. However, Linley could sense that this middle-aged man's cultivation was not weak, and this formation was left behind by him. This was because only the person who set up the formation would be able to send a strand of spiritual energy into the formation. Others couldn't do it, nor did they have the ability to do so. Not even godly exalts or saints could do it. Ah. You're asking me to leave? Yes, I'm asking you to leave. Moreover, what right do you have to address me in the same way? Aren't you afraid that I'll kill you? At this moment, the middle-aged man who suddenly appeared looked at Lin Rei with a murderous look and said in a threatening tone. I think your brain is stuck in the door. I spent 10 million black gold to buy this thing. You want me to give it to you just because you said so? Don't you think you're an idiot? For such a person. Lin Rei didn't. Not only did he suddenly appear before, he even dared to threaten him. Lin Rei couldn't stand it anymore. You. At this moment, the middle-aged man who heard Lin Rei's words had a red face. The murderous aura on his body had condensed to the extreme. It was obvious that the middle-aged man was furious, completely furious. However, looking at Lin Rei at this moment, the two of them were in completely different states. One of them was furious to the extreme. The other was relaxed as if there was no danger in front of him. Chapter 665. I advise you not to act rashly. Otherwise, not to mention a strand of your soul, even if it's your main body that's 500 kilometers away, this exalted will still kill you. At this moment, Linley's tone was extremely calm. If someone familiar with him or an enemy of his were here and saw his current appearance, no matter how big of a problem they had, they would all stop. This was because they all knew that as long as Linley wanted to kill someone, he would be calm. He would be calm to the point that it was terrifying. Of course, if that's not the case, you can try. Also, if the person who set up the array suffers from the backlash of the array, it won't feel good. Do you want to try? At this moment, Linley's words pierced straight into the middle-aged man's heart. This was because Linley's words gave him an indescribable feeling. This feeling caused him to feel terror and fear. How is this possible? Who is this person? Why is he giving me this feeling? Looking at Lin Rei, the middle-aged man suddenly understood. He muttered to himself, how many years has it been? How many years has it been since I had this feeling? Is it an illusion, or, at this moment, the middle-aged man was in a daze. In the depths of a luxurious mansion in Tianliang City, a middle-aged man suddenly opened his eyes and looked into the distance in shock. The murderous aura around him rushed out and filled the entire space. If Lin Rei was here, he would be able to recognize that this person was the thread of consciousness that protected the array. He was the one who set up the array. How about it? If you retreat obediently, I will spare your life. However, if you continue to be stubborn, then don't blame me. Looking at him, Linley's patience was wearing thin. Then, he asked in a cold tone. The middle-aged man's words were stuck in his mouth. He could not speak. He wanted to retreat, but because of his face, he forced himself to stay. After all, his status in Tianliang City was not simple. Okay, stop talking. I understand. Since that's the case, then go. Boom, as Lin Rei spoke, a rumbling sound could be heard. The originally calm and tranquil formation was shaken by Lin Rei's words. This scene caused the middle-aged man's expression to be filled with disbelief. However, what made him even more incredulous was yet to come. How is this possible? Killing formation, I. At this moment, a murderous aura soared into the sky. The entire formation was filled with murderous aura. Even in the outside world, the murderous aura continued to spread out. Why, this murderous aura, how is this possible? No, this killing intent is not pure. It shouldn't be emitted by a human. It seems to be emitted by a talismanic medium. A formation. Yes, it must be a formation. Only a killing formation can do such a thing to a formation. At this moment, the outside world was in chaos. Everyone began to suspect. Everyone's eyes were focused on Lin Rei and the box in his hand. Even Hong Lian, who was at the side, could not help but reveal a trace of worry when she sensed the killing intent. At this moment, Lil Hu roared and sent a message into Hong Lian's mind. Don't worry. If I'm not wrong, this formation should be set up by the young master. Furthermore, with the young master's strength, there shouldn't be many people in the deity world who are a match for the young master. So, just wait patiently. Got it. Hong Lian could not help but look at Lil Hu when she heard his words. Then, a trace of relief appeared on her face and she regained her composure. However, at this moment, Lin Rei, who was in the formation, looked at the frightened and shocked middle-aged man with a trace of murderous intent. You're asking for your own death. I originally planned to let you leave so that I wouldn't have to do anything. However, you forced me to do it. Tell me, aren't you despicable? As he spoke, the power of the formation increased. As a result, the strand of spiritual consciousness almost could not hold on and collapsed. At this moment, the middle-aged man's face was filled with fear and regret. Others might not know about the backlash from the formation, but as a formation master himself, he was well aware of it. Although the backlash did not last forever, the pain was not something that an ordinary person could endure. Therefore, at this moment, he regretted it. He deeply understood his arrogance. However, there was no such thing as an after-effect medicine in this world. Therefore, everyone had to pay the price for what they had done. No one could run away from it. That's enough. I don't have time to play with you here. I have important matters to attend to. So, the next time you don't know about the formation, you must consider the consequences. Otherwise, you will suffer from the formation's backlash like today. With that, Lin Rei did not understand the middle-aged man's pleas for mercy. Then, he stretched out his hand and used his spiritual consciousness. The previous formation was indeed rotating clockwise. At this moment, under the urging of Lin Rei's spiritual consciousness, the formation began to rotate counterclockwise. At this moment, in the depths of a luxurious courtyard, the original body of the spiritual consciousness that had been destroyed by Lin Rei was sitting on the ground. There was a pool of blood in front of him. There was still a trace of blood at the corner of his mouth. His face was deathly pale and his aura was extremely weak. Bastard. Bastard. Who is it? Who caused me to suffer from the formation's backlash? Damn. Damn it. A furious roar resounded through the room. The roar was filled with boundless killing intent. It was as if he wanted to rush out and kill Lin Rei immediately. However, even though that was what he thought, he also knew that there was a huge gap between his strength and his opponent's. Even though he had only been a strand of thread back then, just from how his opponent had absorbed and controlled his formation and caused it to backfire, as well as the appearance of another killing formation, he knew that this person was definitely not simple. Not only that, but also his cultivation. Although Lin Rei had suppressed his cultivation, the strength that he had displayed had completely exposed his combat strength. This won't do. I must take revenge for this matter. As he thought about it, the middle-aged man spoke into the air. Go to the talisman shop and find out who bought the 6th grade talisman. After you find out, don't act rashly. Just follow the other party until my injuries recover. Yes, your subordinate will go right away. Before the person appeared, an extremely cold voice could be heard. Then, he disappeared into the darkness once again. Sensing that the person who spoke had left, the middle-aged man immediately sneered and looked at the talisman shop. A sinister and affectionate look flashed across his eyes. If I don't take revenge, how can I continue to live in Tianliang City? How can I continue to live in the entire God realm? At this point, the middle-aged man's lips curled up slightly, revealing an extremely uncomfortable smile. Then, he closed his eyes and began to cultivate to recover. At this moment, in the talisman shop, Lin Rei, who had entered the formation world, had destroyed the strand of spiritual consciousness that was above it. Naturally, the formation disappeared as well. Seeing that there was no obstruction, his spiritual consciousness returned to his body. Phew. It's finally done. Lin Rei, who had returned to his body, let out a long sigh. After a smile appeared on his face, he stretched out his hand and slowly opened the box made of amethyst. Boom, a loud sound suddenly rang out without any warning. Accompanying the loud sound was a terrifying sword intent. Feeling the sword essence, Lin Rei's interest was piqued. Then, he looked over and saw a talisman lying quietly in the box. However, on the talisman, a small sword was shuttling back and forth as if it did not know exhaustion. Then, a vigorous sword essence was being nurtured on it. Regarding this, Lin Rei's face was full of smiles. Haha. As expected, there are more 6th grade talismans than 1st grade talismans. Just the sudden sword essence just now was enough to make a divine guard cultivator unable to withstand it. TSK, I just don't know what it will be like if I use all of it. At this moment, Lin Rei could not wait to try the power of this sword talisman. However, when he thought of exploring the principles of carving from it, he calmed down and obediently closed the box. How is it? I wonder if Senior is satisfied? At this moment, the supervisor suddenly asked. It's okay. However, it would be great if there is a better talisman. I hope you can keep an eye on it. If there is really a higher grade talisman, I will come and get it. As for the remuneration, you can rest assured that it will be the highest market price as long as you have it. Hearing this, the supervisor's eyes lit up and he revealed an excited smile. Then, he agreed without hesitation. Okay, as long as you want it, I will find it for you. Don't worry. As long as someone comes to sell it, I will keep it for you. You're worth teaching. Looking at the supervisor, Lin Rei smiled. Then, he went to the flaming tiger and sat on it. Then, he said to Red Lotus, let's go. We've been out for so long. They must be worried. Hearing this, the scarlet flame tiger nodded. It had an obedient and cute look on its face as it walked out of the door. As for Red Lotus, she followed closely behind, looking as calm as ever. Phew, TSK, such an expert has come to Wuzhou. It seems that something is going to happen here soon. Standing at the door and watching Lin Rei leave, the supervisor sighed worriedly. Then, as if he had thought of something, he hurriedly turned and walked inside. Hurry up. You're usually so fast. Why are you so slow today? What if the young master has already arrived? At this moment, not far from the east gate of Tianliang City, Dian Wei, who had come out of the Xuanzong sect, urged by Qi, who was behind him, anxiously. What's the use of panicking? As you said, the young master has already arrived. You see, it will take time for him to stand up in such a big city. Moreover, before he arrived, I have already sent out the dark group. I'm afraid that they have already begun to search the city. Chapter 666. Damn it. When did that happen? Why didn't I know about it? Hearing Bai Qi's words, Dian Wei stopped and turned around to look at Bai Qi, who was walking slowly in the air behind him, in surprise. Humph. If you knew about it, wouldn't it prove that I'm as stupid as you? Seriously. You, hearing that, Dian Wei was at a loss for words. He wanted to attack, but he gave up in the end when he recalled that he had always been defeated by Bai Qi. Forget it. I don't want to waste my time on you. However, even if the secret department is searching, we'd better hurry up. After all, it's been a long time since we last saw each other, and we don't even know what our young master has become. Looking at Bai Qi, Dian Wei rolled his eyes and moved in the next moment, disappearing in front of Bai Qi like a ghost. However, even though he was gone, his voice seemed to be right next to Bai Qi's ears. Seriously. You're always as excited as a fatty who weighs more than 200 kilograms. TSK. But you do have a point. It's been a long time since we last saw each other. I wonder how our young master is doing. Looking at Dian Wei who had disappeared, Bai Qi realized that Dian Wei's words did make sense. Then, he fixed his makeup and disappeared in the next moment. At this moment, in Tianliang City, Lin Rei, who had just come out of the talisman shop, walked on the hazy street again and looked at the pedestrians of all shapes and sizes. However, unlike before, he was no longer wandering aimlessly. The moment he came out of the talisman shop, he released his divine senses and began to search for Xia Feng's whereabouts. After all, they had been separated for a while, and it was reasonable to say that he was not worried. Although he knew that nobody could bully them with Xia Feng by their side, it was still possible that somebody would play dirty tricks in this unfamiliar place. Where have they gone? It's only been a short time, and they didn't leave any trace. Are we really going to try our luck and go on like this? Looking at the road in front of him, Lin Rei was somewhat reluctant to go on any further. Awu. Young master, where are we going now? He didn't detect the auras of Xia Feng in the young lady at all, let alone the others. Moreover, it's not a good idea to continue searching like this. You saw it when you came in. This city is very big. It's really like looking for a needle in a haystack if you want to find one person. These sudden words caused Lin Rei to ponder. That's right, it's not a good idea to continue like this. Since they left on their own, then let them find their way back. In any case, Xia Feng's strength is so strong, and her divine sense is naturally stronger than mine. If she wants to find me, she can find me in minutes. Thinking of this, Lin Rei revealed a trace of a smile as he looked at the scarlet flame tiger under his butt. He happily said, "Little thing, I didn't expect you to be so crafty. Since it's like this, then use your sharp nose to find a place with good food and wine. We'll sit and wait for them to arrive. Moreover, I have a premonition that those brats will be here soon." Those brats? Hearing Lin Rei's words, the scarlet flame tiger's consciousness asked doubtfully. Have you forgotten about the few people who had followed me since the beginning, as well as the people from the sect that I had established? If Yunner finds out about me this time, he will definitely send someone to welcome me. Even if he doesn't come personally, at the very least, he can be trusted. Speaking of this, Lin Rei became more and more excited, as if he had said something good. Moreover, there are only a few people I trust, and Bai Qi and Dian Wei are among them. Among them, Dian Wei is the easiest to provoke. Therefore, I'm sure that it will be either Bai Qi or Dian Wei who will come this time. Otherwise, they will come together. Therefore, I'm very confident about this. Hearing this, the scarlet flame tiger nodded in agreement. Okay, then I'll go first. At this moment, Hong Lian, who had been following beside him, heard Lin Rei's words and was looking forward to it. Alas! I haven't seen them for a long time. I don't know if they remember me. Lin Rei didn't know what Hong Lian was thinking at this moment. He didn't pay too much attention to Hong Lian. At this moment, he was only concerned about the surrounding restaurants. After receiving Lin Rei's order, the scarlet flame tiger immediately wanted to vomit. It sniffed all the way with its keen sense of smell, but it still couldn't find a place that it was satisfied with. Lin Rei was very disappointed about this. Just as the scarlet flame tiger was about to give up, the aroma of meat came from afar. The moment the scarlet flame tiger smelled the aroma of meat, it immediately knew what kind of meat it was. Young master, I found it. I found a restaurant that is very similar to this one. I believe you will like it. The Scarlet Flame Tiger said excitedly. Without waiting for Lin Rei to agree or disagree, it strode directly into a very deep alley. Walking on this road, a cold wind suddenly blew towards them. For the blind Lin Rei, his sense of smell was very sharp. The moment the cold wind blew, the smell of blood mixed with the cold wind blew over. At this moment, Lin Rei frowned and became worried. Then, without waiting for the Scarlet Flame Tiger to stop, Lin Rei forcefully used his cultivation to stop it. Young master, what's wrong? Although the Scarlet Flame Tiger was a little unhappy about Lin Rei suddenly using his cultivation, it knew that Lin Rei wouldn't do it unless it was absolutely necessary. Yes, young master, just now, at this moment, Hong Lian, who was at the side, was also worried and asked. There was a smell of blood. Although it was very faint, it was indeed the smell of blood. It wasn't the smell of demonic beasts or anything else. It was the smell of human blood, so although there was no need to explain, seeing how worried they were, Lin Rei hurriedly explained. Oh. I see. After hearing the explanation, the Scarlet Flame Tiger's unhappiness disappeared at this moment. However, the tense atmosphere made the two of them nervous as well. What's going on? Since it's the smell that Little Tiger smelled, it shouldn't be wrong, right? Recalling Little Tiger's previous appearance, he felt that he shouldn't have made a mistake. Then, he looked around and saw that there was more or less some moss on the walls and on the ground. Moreover, it looked quite old. Regarding this, he was even more puzzled. How could there be a restaurant in such a strange alley that even Little Tiger would be surprised by? However, although he was a little worried, his worry was not as strong as his curiosity. Looking deeper into the alley and looking at the path that they had already walked, Lin Rei suddenly made up his mind. Then, he came to the Scarlet Flame Tiger's side and sat on it. The tension on his face eased and he said indifferently. Let's go. Let's go deeper and see if there's anything strange here. A restaurant that can make you smell something shouldn't be bad. Lin Rei's action stunned the Scarlet Flame Tiger and Red Lotus, but they soon came to their senses. Although they were puzzled and wondered what Lin Rei was up to, they didn't dare to believe Lin Rei's decision. After coming to its senses, the Scarlet Flame Tiger quickly replied, Okay, I got it. Having said that, the Scarlet Flame Tiger dragged Lin Rei and walked deeper into the alley with Red Lotus by his side. However, the moment they moved, Lin Rei wasn't as relaxed as he looked. At this moment, he instantly released his divine sense. Although the range of his divine sense was only 1 kilometer, it was enough. It should be noted that those who could hide from his divine sense either had special footwork or were from a special race or existence. At this moment, Dian Wei and Bai Qi had already walked into the city gate tower. The two of them were at a loss as they looked at the busy street. Bai Qi, ask a few people in the dark section if they've found the young master's trace. Or, if they can't find the young master, they can ask someone else. Well, hearing that, Bai Qi was stunned for a moment. Then, he nodded and said, Okay, got it. Look at how anxious you are. Then, he glanced at Dian Wei. Then, a complicated gesture was quickly made in Bai Qi's hand. It was as fast as lightning and as dazzling as it could be. The gesture wasn't long. It took only 30 seconds for it to be completed. Soon, another 30 seconds passed, and 3 young men in black clothes suddenly appeared not far away and rushed at the two of them. Dian Wei, who was standing next to Bai Qi, was rather curious about the gesture that Bai Qi just made. Well, you're really something. You secretly made such a gesture. Hurry up and tell me about it, so that we don't have to talk telepathically in the future. It's so troublesome. Get lost. Hearing what Dian Wei said, Bai Qi rolled his eyes angrily and ignored him. At this moment, the 3 members of the dark section arrived. We, the 3 members of the dark section, pay our respects to the chief. That's enough. You don't have to wear masks in the future. I called you here to ask if you found the young master's trace or anyone else's trace. That's right. Have you found the young master? Well. Seeing Dian Wei's reaction, one of the 3 members of the dark section immediately said, Elder, here's the thing. We haven't been in this city for long. Also, as you can see, this is the main city of Wuzhou. It's extremely spacious, so, what? You mean that you haven't found the young master yet? Hearing that, Dian Wei's face turned gloomy. At this moment, an undetectable killing intent was instantly released. Of course, the people around him couldn't sense the killing intent, but the 3 members of the dark section did. Elder, please calm down. It's not that we don't want to try our best, but we've just arrived, and it's inconvenient for us to explore certain places with our divine senses. That's why our progress is so slow. There's nothing we can do about it. Chapter 667. That's enough, Dian Wei. Don't push them too close. After all, what he said makes sense. After all, this is not our Xuanzong sect, and you know how powerful they are. In such a large city, there are countless masters. It will be bad if they are alarmed. This was Bai Qi, who was beside him. Seeing the 3 members of the dark group trembling with fear on their faces, he immediately stood up and tried to persuade them. While persuading them, Bai Qi said to the 3 members of the dark group, That's enough. Go ahead. Even if you can't find young master, you can find ice or young man. Even if you can't, you should be able to find a young lady, as long as you can find one of them. Then it will be easy to find young master. Yes. Leader, we will inform all the members of the dark group in Tianliang City and ask them to find young master as soon as possible. Hearing Bai Qi's words, the 3 members of the dark group hurriedly nodded and responded to him. The next moment, the 3 of them disappeared in front of Bai Qi and Bai Qi. Hey, you are good. Now you know how to protect your own people. You know, if you can't find young master, you can kill them. At this moment, watching the 3 members of the dark group leave, Dian Wei, who couldn't hold back his anger, said. Bai Qi clearly sensed the killing intent from Dian Wei and knew that Dian Wei was serious. Looking at him, Bai Qi smiled and said flatly, Is it necessary? Even if you kill them, so what? Can young master find them? Besides, they are the strength of the sect. If you kill them, the sect will lose 3 disciples with great potential. Moreover, these were all decided by the young master himself. What do you think will happen to you when the young master returns after you kill them? Hearing Bai Qi's words, Dian Wei wanted to refute, but the moment he said the word he choked on his words. Humph, even if they can't find young master, it's true that they can't find him. I should have punished them. Dian Wei looked awful as he spoke. However, you do have a point. They are the future of our sect, and they were chosen by our young master. Killing them can ease my anger, but if our young master learns of it, he will probably skin me alive. Hiss, as he spoke, Dian Wei couldn't help but shiver. With fear on his face, he didn't dare to think further. Alright, let's not be idle. Although they can't investigate those places, it shouldn't be a problem for us. I believe that even if an early ultimate god cultivator came, he would have to kneel down. Looking at Dian Wei, Bai Qi smiled. Then, he said something to Dian Wei and disappeared in the next moment. That's right, with the cultivation of peak god emperor, I don't believe that there's a place in this city that I can't reach. Hearing Bai Qi's words, Dian Wei smiled. Then, his eyes became resolute and he operated his cultivation method. He instantly unleashed his cultivation base. In the next moment, he disappeared from the city gate tower, just like Bai Qi. At this moment, Lin Rei, who was being searched for by everyone, could be said to be extremely careful with every step he took. He did not dare to be careless in the slightest. Heh, the smell of blood is getting stronger and stronger. It seems like a lot of people have died here. At this moment, Lin Rei, who had already gone deep into the city, said with a more solemn face as he smelled the smell of blood in the air. Yes, young master was right. The smell of blood here is all human without exception. None of it is from demonic beasts. Looking deep into the city, Scarlet Flame Tiger also became nervous. As for Red Lotus, she also had a solemn expression like Lin Rei, as if she was facing a great enemy. Let's go. The restaurant you mentioned should be right in front of us. Let's go and see who opened a restaurant in this place and what's with the smell of blood. At this moment, Lin Rei was walking while smelling the smell of blood. Similarly, he informed his divine sense within a kilometer. There was a restaurant a kilometer away called Cloud Guest. Instantly, he was interested in this restaurant. Lin Rei's interest was piqued. Not for anything else, but because he felt an extremely powerful aura among the Cloud Guest. Moreover, these days, some of them were of the Yin attribute, just like the aura of Ghostly and the other two. Some of them were also like Goose Sea of the Divine Sect, full of righteous chi. Lin Rei's curiosity about such a place increased. At this moment, even if there was no smell of blood in front of him, he still wanted to go and check it out. To be able to let such different cultivators exist at the same time, this restaurant must not be an ordinary existence. However, Lin Rei, who originally only had these. While moving forward, some even more powerful existences appeared. The Red Flame Tiger carried Lin Rei forward for a period of time, and a very large formation appeared in Lin Rei's divine sense. What made Lin Rei even more surprised? No, perhaps it could be said that he was pleasantly surprised. In this formation, he found that there were extremely powerful runes. Lin Rei could perceive that the power of this rune was much more powerful than the 6th grade runes he had bought in the rune shop before. As for what level it was, he did not know. After all, he did not cultivate talisman Taoism. Boy, this formation is not simple. Moreover, the runes covered on it are even more powerful. It's close to the existence of the super grade. Just when Lin Rei was feeling puzzled and curious, a familiar voice appeared. What he said solved the doubts in Lin Rei's heart. This person was not someone else. It was the little dragon who helped him find the rune cultivation method. Super grade? How is this possible? Didn't the manager of the rune shop say that there hasn't been a super grade talisman master in the divine realm for a long time? Moreover, who would build such a powerful formation in such a place? Why wasn't this place mentioned in the divine realm's summary record? Sigh. You're still too naive. Summary record? Heh, do you really think this thing can be used? Moreover, you have to know that the divine realm is vast and boundless. Even the strongest ultimate god in the divine realm can't guarantee the vastness of the divine realm. In such a big place, it's impossible to find every place. Therefore, don't be too naive. In the end, the only one who will suffer losses is yourself. After listening to the little dragon's words, Lin Rei nodded and smiled. Forget it, who cares what he is? As long as he doesn't go against me, I don't care what he is. After saying that, Lin Rei revealed a relaxed smile and didn't say anything else. The little dragon understood Lin Rei's meaning and fell silent. Lin Rei, who was on the Scarlet Flame Tiger, came back to his senses. He smiled and said to the Scarlet Flame Tiger, "Let's go, Yunlai Ku is right in front. The fragrance you smelled probably came from inside. Let's hurry over." Although Lin Rei was filled with curiosity and various questions about the formation, he also knew that to be able to build Yunlai Ku, the other party's opening must be very shocking. Regarding this, Lin Rei felt that there was no need to alarm the other party. As for this formation, he was confident that he would be able to do it in the near future. He was even confident that he would be able to surpass the formation that was stronger than this formation. When the Scarlet Flame Tiger heard Lin Rei's words, it immediately increased its speed. Almost instantaneously, the few of them arrived at the entrance of Yunlai Ku. It's here, young master. It's the fragrance coming from here. I can smell it. Just as the scarlet flame tiger arrived at the entrance of Yunlai Ku, it spoke excitedly as if it had been injected with chicken blood. Hee, I can smell it too. You don't have to say anything. Lin Rei could naturally smell what Little Tiger said. However, he had to retract it. Little Tiger's nose was really not for show. Because, from the fragrance coming from inside, Lin Rei dared to say that no matter if it was in the profound sky continent, planet Aqua Blue, the immortal realm, or the realm of the gods, this was the first time he had smelled such a fragrance. Kacha, just as Lin Rei was immersed in the fragrance coming from Yunlai Ku, the tightly shut door of Yunlai Ku opened. An old woman with a face full of wrinkles and a naked body staggered out from inside. This person. However, the moment the old woman appeared, an aura that shocked Lin Rei appeared. Following the source of the aura, Lin Rei looked at the old woman who had just walked out. Regarding this, Lin Rei was extremely shocked. However, although he was shocked, Lin Rei's expression was extremely ordinary from the beginning to the end. There was not a trace of hope. As for his shocked heart, it only took a moment for him to regain his composure. After all, the old lady's aura paled in comparison to the evil phoenixes. Even when compared to Xiaolong's aura, they weren't much. Little brother, Yunlai Ku welcomes you. Are you here for a meal or for a rest? After knowing the old woman's strength, Lin Rei was on guard. However, who would have thought that the old woman's first sentence would be the same as the outside world? Regarding this, Lin Rei's brain was somewhat unable to process. What? Little brother, are you not here for a meal or a place to stay? At the entrance of Yunlai Ku, the old woman looked at Lin Rei and the others who were still hesitating. For a moment, the original expression on her face disappeared at this moment. The gentle tone from before also disappeared along with the smile on her face. A meal and a place to stay. Feeling the old woman's aura, Lin Rei quickly spoke. After all, they were in the other party's territory. Furthermore, he could clearly feel the murderous intent coming from the spell formation. System, scan all the information of this old woman for me. Ding dong, okay. Host, please wait a moment. The power will begin to scan and identify this old woman. Hearing the system's words, Lin Rei's face revealed a smile. He clearly remembered that from the profound sky continent until now, the number of people who used this function could be counted with 10 fingers. Time passed, second by second, minute by minute, and Lin Li followed the old lady into the inner section of the Cloud Guest House. Ding dong, scan and identification complete. Do you want to check? Of course I want to check. Otherwise, why would I ask you to scan? Hearing the system's question, Lin Rei was also speechless. However, he knew that this was part of the process and could not be changed. Ding dong, the host has accepted the scan. Please take note. Chapter 668. Name, Granny Cheong. Gender, female. Age, 88,688,643 years old. Spiritual roots, fire spiritual root, wood spiritual root. Talent, supreme grade. Cultivation, middle stage. Dao fruit sage. Ding dong, Granny Cheong, the owner of Cloud Guest, is also the current owner of this formation, an expert who has attained the Dao fruit sage realm. Looking at the old woman's information, Lin Rei was shocked. If what the system said was true, then Granny Cheong was the second sage he had met in this realm. At this time, he was very puzzled. It was obvious that one could not break through to the sage realm in the divine realm, so why was there an existence like Granny Cheong here? Alright, brat, don't think about it. Now is not the time to think about this. I just want to tell you that Granny Cheong is very powerful. Of course, she is still a little weaker than me and the system. However, even so, you are no match for her. If Xia Feng was beside you, I believe she would say the same thing. However, Granny Cheong is just an aunt to Xia Feng. Damn. Hearing Xiaolong's exaggerated praise for him in the system, Lin Li immediately rolled his eyes. He couldn't be bothered with Xiaolong anymore and exited the conversation. In the outside world, Granny Qiong brought him into the shop. At this moment, the shop did not have the cold and gloomy feeling it had outside. Instead, Lin Li felt a strange feeling in this place. As for what it was exactly, he couldn't put his finger on it. At this moment, there were more than a dozen people in Cloud Guest shop. A few of them were gathered in a group. They seemed to have come together, but in fact, they were just temporary friends who had gathered together to play and drink. At this moment, the moment Lin Rei entered Cloud Guest shop, everyone looked at Lin Rei and the others. However, it was very short. After a quick glance, the crowd returned to the lively scene from before. In this regard, Lin Rei felt the same, but he also smiled in his heart. Hee, this guest, what would you like to eat? In our Yunlai restaurant, there's nothing that we can't do. There's nothing that you can't think of. Oh, let's have some of your specialties. Of course, meat and wine are essential. Lin Rei looked at Granny Qiong and said, that's all for now. If we're playing, I'll call you. Alright, got it. Xian and the others, this way please. There are quite a lot of people today. Some of the good seats have already been taken by others, so please wash up and go sit there. Seeing that his wife was tired, Granny Qiong pointed to a quiet corner. Although it was a little gloomy, it was indeed a quiet place. Lin Rei didn't want to put up with a place to eat. All he wanted was to be able to eat his fill. It can't be considered a grievance. Besides, this kid likes peace and quiet. That place is good. Since it was quiet, it also looked comfortable. Very good. After saying that, Lin Rei smiled at Granny Qiong, Red Lotus, and the others. Then, he walked towards his seat with the Scarlet Flame Tiger. Seeing Lin Rei leave, Red Lotus naturally followed. Along the way, Lin Rei passed by a few people. Lin Rei's enormous divine sense gently probed them. Among the people who passed by, none of them had weak cultivation, and the one with the highest cultivation was a young man. He was definitely a middle-stage God-Emperor cultivator. He had never seen the edge of a middle-stage God-Emperor's robe. Hence, he dared to conclude that Qing wasn't from the divine realm. No, at the very least, he wasn't someone from the 8 great prefectures. If that was the case, there was only one other explanation. Other than a batch of cultivators entering the 9th continent during this period, Lin Li could feel that the other party was extraordinary. As for these people who came to eat, he naturally did not care. He did not have the slightest bit of love for talent, and he did not care about what he did. After passing by the young man, Lin Rei finally arrived at his seat. He did not say anything and directly sat down. Looking at the Scarlet Flame Tiger, Lin Rei asked, "How is it? Have you played enough in the outside world this time?" Young master. What do you want to do? Let me tell you, you were the one who asked me to stay in the outside world. You can't go back on your word. Moreover, I have the ability to protect myself now. I know that I have the ability to stand side by side with you. So, young master, he was stunned and sat at the side with a puzzled expression. He did not understand. He had only called it once, but he did not expect it to say so much. However, after mentioning it for a long time, the Scarlet Flame Tiger was still afraid of being locked up. Regarding this, Lin Rei's expression revealed a trace of warmth. Be careful. Since I've already promised you, I naturally won't go back on my word. So, don't worry. At this moment, Lin Rei's words were like a reassurance. Like a calming pill, the restless flaming tiger instantly calmed down, and its tone returned to normal. Lin Li immediately suppressed the wave of undying flames that had been emanating from its body. Young master is in such a good mood to play with your mount here. However, there is a rule among the guests of the Cloud Realm. You are not allowed to fight here. No matter if the other party is your relative or brother, as long as they dare to fight here, no matter who they are, they will be killed mercilessly. Eh. Hee hee. Hee hee. Hearing the sudden voice, Lin Rei's face suddenly revealed a respectful smile. For him, Granny Cheong could not be offended. Moreover, at that moment, when Granny Cheong finished her last sentence, her whole body was emitting a murderous aura. At first glance, it was obvious that many people had died in her hands. Okay, I won't talk to you anymore. This wine is for you. It's called drunk. As for the dishes you ordered, this old woman will cook them for you now. Wait, it may be a little slow. If it's finished, you can go get it yourself. It's just behind the counter. You can drink whatever you want. Hiss. At this moment, Granny Cheong's words caused the surrounding people to be surprised. Everyone was full of doubts about Granny Cheong's words. Moreover, this matter had happened before, but the nature was different. At that time, the person who went to get the wine was slapped to death by the old woman. After that, no one dared to enter the counter. Moreover, what shocked everyone even more was that Granny Cheong said that she would do it herself. This matter made everyone pay more attention to this mysterious young man who had just entered. Lin Rei naturally felt the surrounding gazes, but he ignored them. Instead, Lin Rei cupped his hands and said to Granny Cheong, "Thank you very much. I'm sorry for making you do it yourself. It's okay. You can drink now." Granny Cheong, who was standing to the side, heard Lin Rei's words and suddenly revealed a smile. She muttered in her heart, "Boy, this old woman's meal is so delicious. If you don't pay a price, do you think you have the strength to digest it?" Of course, Granny Cheong still could not say these words. Lin Rei did not know what Granny Cheong was thinking. If he knew, he would definitely not eat this meal. However, when he found out, it was already too late. Looking at the disappearing figure of the old woman, Lin Rei pondered for a moment. He did not feel that there was anything wrong. Then, he picked up the wine called drunk on the table and took a big gulp. Immediately, a spicy feeling entered his stomach from his throat, accompanied by a warm breath. What was different was that after the warmth, a pure energy appeared. At this moment, the chaos scripture began to operate on its own, refining the inexplicable energy. Ha! Ha! I didn't expect this wine to be so interesting. It seems that I have to ask for some when I leave later. With that, Lin Rei began to drink by himself. The smile on his face did not disappear after he drank the good wine. Red Lotus, who had been observing him from the side, was stunned at this moment. At this moment, Lin Rei, Red Lotus, and the Red Flame Tiger were quite comfortable. However, at this moment, whether it was Jian Wei, Bai Qi, the Dark Group, or the Array Master who was injured by Lin Rei, they were all frantically searching for him. They were all frantically searching for Lin Li. In the city, they weren't the only ones. On a street in the western part of the city, Shadow, the three Ghost Kings, and Demonic Phoenix were all looking left and right anxiously. Where did this brat go? He is not in the east of the city, nor in the south of the city. Now, we have searched the west of the city, but we still can't find him. Tut, where could he have gone? Alas, I don't know. You know young master's character. No one can be trusted where he wants to go. At this moment, Ghostly, who was beside her, said. Hearing Xia Feng's words, he immediately responded. You're right. That's the most attractive thing about that brat. However, doesn't he know that we're worried about him? You're wrong. It seems that when we entered the city, we had been walking around together. We didn't think about young master at all. When we found out that young master was missing, we had already finished walking around and came back. At this moment, Gue Han, who had been unwilling to speak from the beginning, spoke. However, as soon as he spoke, everyone present was stunned and lowered their heads in embarrassment. Whoosh, huh. Just as everyone was feeling ashamed, a deafening sound echoed in everyone's ears. Everyone hesitated, as they could sense that the deafening sound was coming in their direction. Who? Get out of here. At this moment, Xia Feng, who had sensed the aura, immediately turned around and spoke to the air not far behind her. Huh? Hearing Xia Feng's words, everyone turned around and looked in the direction that Xia Feng was looking at. There was a trace of doubt in their eyes. However, at the same time, this scene also gave the young man a sense of familiarity. However, it was a pity that this feeling was fleeting and disappeared without a trace. I, Wu Su of the Xuanzong Sect's Dark Department, greet Elder Dong. Under everyone's gaze, a young man dressed in black appeared in the air and floated over quietly. After everyone had passed, he cupped his hands and greeted Dong Xiaonan. Oh. Dark Department? At this moment, hearing the young man in black's words, his eyes widened and a trace of surprise appeared on his face. You. Why are you here? Who else is here? The Dark Department can't act without the order of the Dark Department. Tell me, what's going on? At this moment, hearing the conversation between the young man and the man in black, everyone who had ascended from the immortal realm knew what was going on. As for the evil phoenix and the three ghost kings, they looked on in bewilderment. Under everyone's gaze, the man in black replied fearlessly, Elder, this time we heard that the sect leader was about to come to the north. Therefore, after the sect leader received the news, he sent the Dark Department, leader Bai Qi, and leader Dian Wei to search for the sect leader's whereabouts. At this time, Tianliang City is the core of Wuzhou in the north. Therefore, after arriving here, the sect leader sent the Dark Department to search for the young master's whereabouts. Hearing this, everyone understood what was going on. Everyone knew the whole story. Regarding this, the young man's face revealed a happy and gratified expression. Is the sect master doing well? Did you encounter any trouble after the sect ascended? Did anyone bully you? Oh. That's right, you guys. At this moment, the male disciple seemed to have thought of something and asked the Dark Department with a worried expression. Elder, let's not talk about this for now. We are here to welcome the young master back to the sect. Looking at the young man, the man in the Dark Department said. At the same time, he kept looking around. In the end, the figure he wanted to see was not here. Instantly, a trace of disappointment appeared on Wu Su's face. Alas! The young master was separated from us. We are now actively looking for the young master's whereabouts. Well, you are here. Inform Bai Qi and Dian Wei that the young master is in this city with Red Lotus and the Red Flame Tiger. Tell them to hurry up and find him. Yes, I will inform the two sect leaders now. Elder, please keep in touch with us and keep in touch. Saying this, Wu Su did not wait for the young man to say anything. The moment he finished speaking, he disappeared in front of everyone. No one reacted to this, especially the young man. He knew that apart from the sect leader, only the sect leader could give orders to the Dark Department. Looking at Wu Su's departure, the young man quickly turned around and said to Ying and the others, just now, we didn't have enough manpower. Stand here. With the help of the two leaders of the Dark Group and Bai Qi, I believe that we will soon receive news of the young master. Hearing this, everyone nodded in unison. The evil phoenix said, that's right. However, when we find that stinking brat again, we can't let him off so easily. It's like this every time, forcing us to find him. If I don't do something this time, he'll probably do it again next time. The evil phoenix's words caused everyone to be stunned on the spot. She was probably the only one who would dare to say something like that. Others might not dare to do so. Chapter 669. Chiu. At this moment, Linley was having a meal in a mysterious alley with guests from the clouds. While he was drinking, he suddenly sneezed. A cold wind blew behind him, and Linley immediately stopped drinking. Damn, who's scolding me? The sudden words stunned the Scarlet Flame Tiger and Hong Lian, who were at the side. Their eyes revealed a strange expression that could not be detected. Young master, who dares to scold you? Those who have a conflict with you can't wait to stay far away. They don't dare to provoke you. Why? Hearing the scarlet flaming tiger's words, Linley asked doubtfully. He hadn't expected Little Tiger to say something like this. Moreover, it wasn't just Little Tiger who had a strange expression. Even Red Lotus had the same expression. Have you forgotten? Those who offended you were basically killed by you. I remember you said that if you don't remove the roots, the grass will grow again when the spring breeze blows. Moreover, even those who weren't killed by you but offended you, didn't you use their own money to buy their lives back? Hearing Little Tiger's words, Red Lotus, who was standing to the side, laughed. Her laughter caused the originally playful guests of the Cloud tribe to completely quiet down. Everyone's gaze was focused on Red Lotus. Everyone's eyes were filled with greed, and there was even saliva dripping from their mouths. Linley's divine sense detected this scene. Little Tiger didn't seem to hear anything and continued to speak energetically. He had no intention of stopping. Sigh. Especially the last time, I remember that when we were still in the lower realm, you actually let their enemies buy their lives. Moreover, it was an auction. In the end, they suffered a loss, but you made a lot of money. After hearing Little Tiger's words, Linley wanted to refute, but the moment the word, "I," left his mouth, he choked and couldn't say anything else. How about it? Do you still want me to continue? I remember that you still have a lot of things to do. So, young master, there's no such thing as people scolding you. Because, they don't dare to, and they don't even want to see you in this lifetime. Okay. How can you say that about your young master? Besides, they deserved it. As the saying goes, everyone does it for me. If I don't go to hell, who will? They really did. At this moment, it wasn't just Xiaohu and Red Lotus who were stunned after hearing Lin Rei's words. Even the people who were forbidden from speaking due to Red Lotus' beauty were stunned after hearing Lin Rei's words. Their eyes were filled with coldness and disdain. However, only a portion of them were filled with disdain. At the same time, there was also a portion of them who were filled with admiration. Sensing the surrounding gazes, for a moment, Lin Rei awkwardly sat down and lowered his head to drink his beer. At this moment, he even had the urge to leave. However, when he thought of the fragrance he had smelled at the door, his legs refused to listen to him. Not bad, little brother. Your trick is not bad. When I run out of money in the future, I must use your trick. I can vent my anger and make money. Why didn't I think of this before? TSK, you're a complete bastard. But to be honest, this trick is not bad. Perhaps you can use it more often in the future. Yes, this trick is not bad. Not bad. Come, little brother, I've done such a great thing for you. Cheers. As he spoke, he didn't wait for Linley to react. He picked up the wine jug on the table, tilted his head back, and began to gulp it down. His entire body was like an ox as he gulped it down. He looked extremely wild and domineering. When he heard the voice, his divine sense followed. When he saw the middle-aged man like this, Lin Rei couldn't refuse. However, Lin Rei was a little dumbfounded after hearing what they had said earlier. However, Lin Rei naturally couldn't refuse the man's toast. After all, the moment he saw the middle-aged man drinking, he sensed that he was an emperor god. He could sense that this person was a god-emperor cultivator. Although his cultivation was not as high as his, he was still a god-emperor. In a place like this where crooks mixed in with the honest folk, it was best not to offend anyone if possible. Besides, he was very willing to drink. After all, he had drunk a lot of wine over the years. Even an experienced alcoholic couldn't compare to him. Of course. Other than those old monsters who had lived for tens of thousands of years, Lin Rei wasn't afraid of anyone else. Looking at the middle-aged man drinking, Lin Rei didn't hesitate. Like the middle-aged man, he picked up the wine jar and began to drink. He looked very refreshed. Ha ha ha. Good. Since you're so happy, let's join in. At this moment, seeing Lin Rei and the middle-aged man like this, it immediately resonated with the crowd. Then, everyone picked up the wine jar and began to drink. The wine jar wasn't big, but it wasn't small either. However, the amount of wine in it wasn't small. With Lin Rei's current strength, it wasn't an ordinary amount of wine. It took him 2 minutes to finish the jar of wine. In this regard, Lin Rei looked at the wine jar in confusion. He didn't find anything special and put it down. There was a loud bang. Perhaps it was because he used too much strength, so when he put down the wine jar, there was a loud bang in the guest hall. Bang. 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 However, not long after Lin Rei made the loud noise, there was a series of loud noises. After everyone finished drinking, they directly threw the wine jar to the ground. The difference between them and Lin Rei was that Lin Rei was completely fine. He didn't even feel dizzy or blushing. As for everyone, the moment they drank the wine from the medicinal wine jar, everyone fell directly on the table and quickly entered a state of hangover. Snoring, grinding teeth, and even sleep-talking. At this moment, there was everything in the guest hall of Yunlai. In this regard, Lin Rei, who used his divine sense to sense everyone, revealed a happy smile. A group of fun guys. Tut, but it's good. You don't have to worry about eating and sleeping, or living like a pig. How great would it be if I could live like that? Looking at the sleeping people, Lin Rei sighed, stood up, and took a step out according to Granny Cheong's instructions. He walked towards the counter. The counter was very close and could be seen after a few steps. Then, Lin Rei came to the inside of the counter and saw that it was exactly the same as the wine jar that Granny Cheong had taken before. Then, Lin Rei didn't think much, took a jar, left the counter, and went to his seat. And at this moment, just as Lin Rei left the strange place, Granny Cheong's figure appeared in his field of vision. At this moment, Granny Cheong was holding 2 large plates in her hands, sitting cross-legged and emitting a fragrance. The meat near Lin Rei's mouth was on the table. In an instant, he used his cultivation, his body flashed, and then he came to his seat and sat down. You brat. Sensing Lin Rei's actions, Granny Cheong smiled and rolled her eyes at Lin Rei. Then, she pointed at the 2 dishes on the table and said, "Come, try this old lady's cooking." As she spoke, the old woman picked up a piece of meat with her chopsticks and placed it on Lin Lei's plate. She said, "Tamed meat is the meat of a divine ancestor-level demonic beast. Ordinary people who eat it can't handle the energy and explode to death. However, for a cultivator like you, eating it will at most increase your cultivation by a bit. As for other benefits, it won't do you any good. Oh, right, there's another advantage, which is that it's very delicious." Listening to Granny Cheong's words, looking at the meat on his plate and smelling the fragrance coming from it, he couldn't help but pick up the meat on the plate with his chopsticks. He put it in his mouth. At this moment, a soft and fragrant aroma suddenly filled his mouth and body. Delicious, too delicious. After finishing the piece of meat, the moment it entered his stomach, it turned into strands of spiritual energy and entered Lin Rei's Dan Palace, becoming a part of him. Seeing Lin Rei's reaction, the old woman couldn't help but reveal a complacent and victorious smile. If Lin Rei could see it at this moment, the old woman would definitely be shocked. She would definitely be stunned. At this moment, when the Scarlet Flame Tiger and Hong Lian saw how much Lin Rei was enjoying himself, they couldn't help but step forward to eat. Gulp. The moment Lin Rei poured the wine into his mouth, he looked up at Granny Cheong and said, "Senior, your food is too delicious, but, as you can see, just my brother's appetite is already, alright, I got it." Before Lin Li could finish speaking, the old lady opened her mouth to speak. Immediately, there were only 2 plates of food on the table, but in the blink of an eye, the entire table was filled with food. One had to know. This table was very big. Observing this scene, Lin Rei revealed a smile. Thank you, Senior. With that, Lin Rei lowered his head and prepared to eat. But at this moment, the old woman's words came. For a moment, Lin Rei was dumbfounded, feeling that he had been tricked. Little guy, I remember there's an old saying, those who take advantage of others are soft-mouthed. What about now? You've eaten and taken. How do you think you should deal with this matter? As soon as she said this, Lin Rei was dumbfounded. Not only him. The Scarlet Flame Tiger and Hong Lian, who were eating like a whirlwind, were also dumbfounded. Their hands stopped eating, and their expressions were filled with doubt. Don't look at me like that. However, the old woman has already said. You've eaten and drunk my food. Now that you've taken my food, you have to do something for me. Hearing this, Lin Rei finally understood. It turned out that the old woman had been treating them like this from the beginning. A trap for him had already unfolded. Moreover, that trap was very strong. Now that the old woman had already trapped him, it was too late to refuse. Chapter 670. Lin Rei wanted to refute Granny Cheong, but as soon as the word left his mouth, Granny Cheong stopped him. Granny Cheong spoke again, don't refuse yet. This is a deal. Although it's a little dangerous for you, the interest is also very high. Why don't you listen first? If I don't listen, won't you tell me that you're about to cooperate with me? As he gazed at her, Linley momentarily felt regret, and he even felt like slapping himself. However, it was impossible for him to refuse at this moment. After all, there was a terrifying formation outside, and Granny Cheong was a Dao fruit saint. Linley knew that he wasn't a match for her right now. Hee, boy, you're smart. You're right. You have to listen even if you don't want to. Besides, do you think you can leave this place? In any case, I don't believe it. Although there are some things on you that I can't describe, I'm sure that you're the person I've been waiting for millions of years. Millions? At this moment, Linley was completely stunned by the number when he heard the old woman say the words 10 million years. But at the same time, he was filled with doubt when the old woman said that he was the person she had been waiting for 10 million years. He didn't understand what was going on. Granny Cheong, although I don't know why you say that I'm the person you've been waiting for millions of years, you can't do this. How can a nobody like me help you? Besides, I'm just here for a meal. I have no other intentions. He didn't want to accept Granny Cheong's deal, so he didn't wait for her to speak. Lin Rei spoke again, besides, with your strength, there's nothing you can't do. Even if you can't do it, what do you think I can do if you can't do it? Ha ha ha, but as soon as Linley finished speaking, Granny Cheong suddenly began to laugh loudly, her eyes filled with amusement and amusement. At that moment, Lin Rei frowned. He couldn't guess what Granny Cheong wanted to do. As for the deal, Lin Rei really wasn't interested. As expected, you did. I've never told you my name before. I didn't expect you to know it. Besides, my name hasn't appeared in the divine world for a very long time. Even those old bastards in the divine world wouldn't know my name. Now that you know my name, you must be the one I've been waiting for. So, little guy, don't try to shirk away and listen to me first. Slap. A crisp sound rang out. When Linley heard the old woman's words, he didn't say anything and directly slapped her face. His face was filled with speechlessness. *CK, that mouth's. What should I do? She thought to herself, but her divine sense never left Granny Cheong. Looking at Granny Cheong's current appearance, Lin Rei knew that he couldn't avoid the deal today. With that thought, Lin Rei made up his mind. Since he wanted to say it, he would say it. However, saying it was one thing, doing it or not was another. Lin Rei's expression relaxed. Since you've said so, that boy won't be able to refute. Go ahead. Just listen to me. Hee, it's good to always be like this. You made me waste so much time talking. Seeing Lin Rei agree, Granny Cheong smiled. She was an existence that had lived for tens of millions of years, so when she smiled, her face wrinkled. Looking at her, Lin Li quietly took a sip of wine, ate his food, and waited to hear what was about to be said about the trade. Little fellow, you already know my name. This old woman's name is Granny Cheong, but I don't remember my exact age. However, I think you've already seen my strength. I'm a Dao fruit saint. Hearing Granny Cheong's words, Lin Li stopped eating. Raising his head, he said questioningly, yes, I know. However, what puzzles me is that at your level of cultivation, you should have ascended long ago. Why are you still in the deity realm? In addition, given your level of power, won't you be restricted or prohibited from entering the deity realm? Alas. You're not wrong, but you're also wrong. Even though my current level of cultivation is a realm that everyone yearns to reach, I'd rather not have it. It's precisely because of this level of cultivation that I've been trapped for so many years. Oh. As he listened, Lin Rei became more and more puzzled. Why had she been trapped for so long after obtaining her cultivation? However, Lin Rei didn't ask because even if he didn't ask, Granny Cheong would tell him. Sure enough, at this moment, Granny Cheong spoke again, I think you're also puzzled. It's like this. With that, Granny Cheong pondered for a moment and entered her memories. However, she still spoke of her memories and experiences. Back then, this old woman was a cultivator at the peak of the Tao. Perhaps it was because I paid too much attention to cultivation that I yearned for the power of the Tao. Back then, this old woman naturally cultivated to the divine ancestor realm. However, when I first started cultivating, it was discovered that my foundation wasn't good and my spirit root wasn't very good. As for my talent, it was extremely low. However, this old woman refused to accept it. Others put in double the effort, but this old woman put in 10 or even 20 times the effort. This old woman didn't feel like crying at all. Hearing Granny Cheong's words, a trace of sympathy appeared on Lin Rei's face. Although he wasn't like this, he could understand the hardships involved. At this moment, there was no distress, melancholy, or pain on Granny Cheong's face. Instead, there was a trace of a relaxed smile. That's right. Because I yearned for power too much, because as long as I had power, I would have the right to speak. Because I yearned for power too much, I went astray and my inner demons were rampant. At this point, Granny Cheong paused for a moment before continuing, that's how it is. After reaching the divine ancestor realm, my cultivation has been stagnant. The other sects, and even my own sect's senior and junior brothers, endlessly laughed at me. So, I hate them and all of them look at me with contempt. Tisk, because of this, I was taken advantage of by an existence from nothingness. As soon as she said this, the smile on the old woman's face revealed a trace of pain. Cold sweat flowed freely from her forehead. In this regard, Lin Rei, who had been paying attention to Granny Cheong, also tensed up. At this moment, after hearing Granny Cheong's story, she put down the bowl and chopsticks in her hand and listened carefully, just like Lin Rei. You might not believe it even if I tell you, but the rune outside Yun Lake was left behind by the powerful warrior who came from the void back then. Millions of years have passed since then, but it still exists today. Furthermore, its power has not decreased in the slightest. Even though many of the runes on it have been wiped away, the power of those runes still fused into the rune after the passage of time. Hiss, after hearing Granny Cheong's words, Lin Rei and Hong Lian gasped at the same time. Astonishment and astonishment appeared on their faces. Tens of millions of years. What kind of concept was that? Perhaps even he didn't dare to imagine it. Besides, in his understanding of arrays, it was impossible for an array to exist for tens of millions of years. This was because he knew that an array could exist for at most 1,000,000 years. Moreover, during these millions of years, there would be constant maintenance by array masters. But most importantly, there must be enough energy to support the array within 100 years. Otherwise, it would be impossible for an array to survive for such a long time. Besides, when he came here earlier, he didn't see or sense any energy transmission from underground or in the air. In addition, Granny Cheong said that the runes had been erased due to the baptism of time, but their original effects hadn't been lost. Just based on this point alone, he didn't believe it. Therefore, when Granny Cheong said that the array had existed for tens of millions of years, he didn't believe it at all. Don't be so surprised. I know you won't believe it because this matter is impossible even in the entire world. But it has been verified here, and verified so well. At this moment, Granny Cheong had returned to her senses. However, when she saw the disbelief and shock on Lin Rei's face, she said with a smile. When I saw the expert from the nothingness, I was also stunned. When I heard his description of the array, I was just like you. But there was no other way. At that time, that person was on the stage and I was too eager for quick success and wanted to show off and prove myself. Therefore, that expert from the nothingness made a suggestion to me, a deal that I didn't even think about. What kind of deal? After hearing her words, Lin Rei's interest was piqued, especially when he heard that it was just a suggestion. Lin Rei couldn't help but ask. The deal is very simple. Let me become the master of this formation, and at the same time, I will become the master of this cloud. As a result of this deal, I will get what I want, such as my 2 spiritual roots, my talent, and various other aspects. So that's how it is. Hearing Granny Cheong's words, Lin Rei felt a strange feeling in his heart. However, this feeling only lasted for a moment. Then, he came back to his senses and looked at her, waiting for what would happen next. At that moment, his originally calm face became sinister. His eyes were filled with fear and bewilderment. As the saying goes, there are benefits and disadvantages. Although I got what I wanted very much at that time, I lost what I ultimately wanted, freedom. Chapter 671. Freedom? Could it be? Hearing Granny Cheong's words, he thought of what she said before and immediately thought of something that shocked him. You're smart. Seeing the mysterious young man's reaction, Granny Cheong smiled and said, That's right, what you're thinking is exactly what I've experienced. Although I've become a Tao fruit saint, I've been imprisoned in this formation forever and will never be able to get out. Granny Cheong's answer was exactly what he had been thinking. For a moment, Lin Li stared in terror at the mysterious formation above his head. How is this possible? This formation looks like this. Why does it have such an ability? Could it be? Enough, Lin Rei, don't think so much. As long as you can get out, it's fine. Besides, even if you know the secret, what do you think you can do? Save her? What are you thinking? This formation isn't something you can touch now, and you don't have the experience. You don't have that experience, so don't forget about the Millennium Mission. At this moment, the little dragon's voice suddenly sounded. He originally wanted to suppress Lin Rei's thoughts, but he didn't expect his words to arouse Lin Rei's curiosity. With a thought, he entered the system and came before the little dragon. He looked curiously at the little dragon sitting above the pool. Xiaolong, tell me, what's so strange about this formation? Could it be that there are some mysterious runes engraved on it? For example, some kind of restriction, or some kind of cage, take care of your curiosity. Looking at Lin Rei, the little dragon laughed and then sighed, I really don't know what to do with you. Tell me, what's so strange about this formation? I'm very curious. Alright, I'll tell you. This formation is a cage. It's a formation that seals everything together. Furthermore, based on what Granny Cheong said just now, I can roughly guess that the person of nothingness she spoke of should be a mission from the era of function because I can feel the primordial origin energy coming from the formation. What? Hongmeng. Hearing the little dragon's words, Lin Rei was shocked and looked up at the little dragon. At this moment, the little dragon's expression became serious, as if this matter was very serious. Yes, so you mustn't get involved in this matter. Moreover, what puzzles me is that Hong Meng was sealed a long, long time ago. But according to what Granny Cheong said, my guess shouldn't be wrong, right? Lin Rei was puzzled before, but now it was the little dragon. That mysterious existence aroused the curiosity of the little dragon and Lin Rei. Okay, take your time to think about it. When you think of something, tell me immediately. Seeing the little dragon in deep thought, Lin Rei knew that as long as he was deep in thought, he would wake up very soon. Moreover, the little dragon's time to think was also a problem. He couldn't stay here for too long, or he might be exposed. Thinking of this, Lin Rei waved goodbye to the little dragon. Lin Rei, who had returned to his original body, came to his senses and used his divine sense to examine Granny Cheong. Looking at her, Lin Rei sighed and said, "Alas! The heavens opened a window for you, and together with it, they will take away another thing from you. Therefore, you can't blame others for this matter. In the end, it's your greed that led to this situation." Hee hee. Hee hee hee. You're right. In the end, it's my greed and my pride that caused this, so I won't be obedient to anyone. If I want to blame someone, I can only blame myself for wanting to pursue power too much. I want to become the proud son of heaven that others speak of. As she spoke, tears flowed from her eyes and streaked across her wrinkled cheeks. Her face was filled with loneliness, and she seemed to have aged a lot. Alas, there's no other way. Who can say for sure about this kind of thing? There are good and bad things about power, but it depends on how you use it. As for Granny Cheong's matter, he knew that he couldn't help much. Moreover, the little dragon also told him not to get involved in this matter, so, thinking of this, Lin Rei shrugged, picked up the bowl and chopsticks and began to eat. As for Granny Cheong's matter, he couldn't help even if he wanted to. Time passed bit by bit as Lin Rei ate. And at this moment, the entire restaurant was particularly quiet. Other than the sound of Lin Rei and the others eating, there was no other sound. Help me, this is the connection. As long as you can help me, high-level cultivation methods, talisman cultivation methods, formations, and so on, as long as you can help me. All of these are for you. As long as you can help me. Puff, the sudden words directly made Lin Rei spit out the food in his mouth, and his face was full of shock. What, you don't want to? Seeing Lin Rei's reaction, Granny Cheong suddenly looked stunned and became extremely unkind. Lin Rei could feel a murderous aura emanating from her body. Lin Rei knew that if he dared to say no, then he would really die here today. Lin Rei was helpless about the current situation. He couldn't beat Granny Cheong, and he couldn't get out. There was nothing he could do. Alas. Senior, since you want me to agree to your deal, then you have to tell me what you want me to do. You're so sure about it. It's very difficult for me. I was careless. Seeing the slight change in Lin Rei's attitude, the murderous aura emanating from Granny Cheong's body immediately retracted, and her expression became a little more amiable. It's like this, my request isn't high. I just want you to go to the depths of the 9th continent's ancient corpse vault and find me a Corpse King pill. As long as you can bring back the Corpse King pill, I won't go back on my promise to you. What? Corpse King pill? Hearing Granny Cheong's words, Lin Rei was stunned for a moment. He had never even heard of a Corpse King pill, let alone bring it back for her. Moreover, that ancient corpse vault didn't sound like a good place. That's right, the Corpse King pill, as the name implies, is the inner core of the King of Corpses. As long as you can get that thing, I won't pursue the matter. Oh. I forgot to tell you, when I brought you the food earlier, I put a drug in it that destroys the soul. This drug was specially left behind by that person back then to save my life. Of course, this drug has an antidote. As long as you take out what I want, the antidote will definitely be given to you. At this moment, the moment Granny Cheong said those words, Lin Rei was stunned on the spot. His face was filled with color, and his heart was filled with regret. F***ck, I've been playing with eagles for so many years. I didn't expect to be pecked in the eye by a house sparrow. As he thought about this, his will continued to surge. However, the matter had already happened, and there was nothing he could do about it. After all, this matter was his own stupidity. How is it? Have you thought about my proposal now? Do you want to do this deal or not? I'll do it. Looking at Granny Cheong, Lin Ray gritted his teeth and said fiercely. It was obvious how much Lin Ray hated her. It's not impossible for me to do it, but I have a request. As long as you agree, I'll help you. What? As long as you say it. Hearing Granny Cheong's words, for a moment, Lin Ray turned to look at the Scarlet Tiger and Red Lotus. Suddenly, his expression became firm. He turned back and said, "Give them the antidote. As long as you agree to this request, then I will naturally follow your suggestion. Of course, you can choose not to agree to this matter, but I believe that no one else can. Besides me, no one can help you. After all, you said that I'm the one who has been crazy for thousands of years." Young master, at this moment, the man and the beast heard Lin Ray's words and their expressions changed drastically. They wanted to dissuade him, but as soon as the words left their mouth, they were stopped by Lin Ray's words. As long as you guys are safe, I can throw caution to the wind and find that Corpse King pill for her. Even if I die, you guys won't be implicated by me. So, don't talk about this matter in the future. Don't even tell the sect, my son, and my wife. Don't tell them about this matter. Good, there's an antidote. At this moment, hearing Lin Ray's words, Granny Cheong's face revealed a trace of admiration. Don't worry, this matter, I promise you. Here's the antidote, distribute it to them. Whoosh, whoosh, two sounds of something breaking through the air were heard. Lin Ray's divine sense explored the traces in the air. In an instant, he raised his hand and spiritual energy rushed out, directly wrapping around the antidote that was rushing towards him. Good, since you're so straightforward, I promise you this matter. But you have to remember, I will only help you find the Corpse King pill. As for the rest, this sovereign will not care at all. Looking at the two antidotes, Lin Ray said to Granny Cheong. Then, he turned around and placed the two pills in front of Red Lotus and Scarlet Tiger for them to consume. Eat it. Young master, shut up, I'm the young master, and I'm the most important. Eat it, or scram. I'll only say it twice. If I say it a third time, then from now on, you don't have to call me young master anymore. Hearing this, Scarlet Tiger and Red Lotus had no choice but to obey. Especially after hearing that they would no longer be related, they didn't dare to delay and directly opened their mouths to swallow the antidote. Hee, that's more like it. Seeing them eat the antidote, Lin Ray revealed a trace of a smile. Then, the smile disappeared and he looked at Granny Cheong with a cold expression. Don't worry, I won't delay your matter. However, before that, I still have something to do. I can't guarantee when I'll bring it to you, but within 100 years, I'll definitely bring the Corpse King pill back to you. After speaking, without giving Granny Cheong a chance to speak, he waved at Red Lotus and Scarlet Tiger and walked towards the door. Lin Ray didn't want to stay in this place for a moment longer. Sure, bring the Corpse King pill back to me within 100 years. I'll give you the antidote with both hands, but remember, you only have 100 years. Once the time is up, I won't care what happens to you. Chapter 672. Hearing Granny Cheong's words, Lin Ray's body froze for a moment. Then, he smiled and pushed open the door to walk out. As expected of the person I've waited for so long. No one can compare to him, whether it's his composure or his behavior. Granny Cheong smiled and muttered to herself as she watched Lin Ray walk out of the cloud visitor. Outside the door, Linley, who had already come out, turned around and stood at the door. He looked at the door of Yun Lai Ku's residence. His heart was filled with anxiety. Ever since he knew that everything was a trap, he probably wouldn't have come here, let alone encounter such a troublesome situation. Sigh. The world is so big, who knows how many places like this there are. A person of nothingness? The Hongmeng realm? Looking at the door, Lin Rei, who was lost in thought, began to sort out the various things that he had just encountered. He never thought that there would be such a place in the realm of the gods. However, what surprised him even more was that there was an old monster in the realm of the gods who had lived for so long. What was even more ridiculous was that he had been waiting for him. Lin Rei was speechless. Young master, where are we going now? We can't just stay here forever. Just then, just as Lin Rei was lost in thought, Xiao Hu, who was standing beside him, asked. His voice was not loud, but it could be heard from a mile away. Little Tiger, on the other hand, had successfully used his voice to pull Linli out of his reverie. Phew. Let's go. It's time to ask them if they've met up. I wonder if they've had enough after not seeing each other for so long. At this moment, if Xia Feng heard Lin Rei's words, she would use the undying flame to train him. At this moment, standing in the center of Tianliang City, Ying and the others, who Lin Rei was thinking about, were standing there and looking around anxiously. Xia Feng, why don't you use your divine sense to find the young master? If we continue to search like this, I'm going to go crazy. We've been searching for so long. Do you think at this moment, the young man beside her had an anxious look on his face. He came to Xia Feng's side helplessly and pleaded softly. Indeed, elder. As long as you make a move, you'll definitely be able to find it. Why don't, as soon as one spoke, there would be two more. As soon as the voice of the male brother fell, the three ghost kings on the side said. Everyone looked helpless, powerless, and anxious. In this regard, looking at their exhausted appearance, Xia Feng also sighed helplessly. Sigh. I can understand your feelings, but I've already tried all the methods you've mentioned. I've tried a few times before, but even when I covered the entire Tianliang city, I couldn't find a trace of Lin Rei's aura in the city. I can't do anything about it. I also want to find him, but this is the truth. I can't do anything about it. What? Even you can't do anything about it. Then. Hearing Xia Feng's words, Ying had already cried out in horror. Her face was already pale enough, but after hearing Xia Feng's words, she turned even paler. She looked as if she had lost her soul. Her body was on the verge of collapse, as if a gust of wind could blow her away. She looked very pitiful. Impossible, young master. Young master can't not be in this city. They came in with us. It's impossible. At this moment, the young man seemed to have lost his mind. He began to mumble to himself. He kept saying that it was impossible. This phenomenon made Xia Feng and the three ghost kings feel very helpless. Sigh. Looking at them, Xia Feng shook her head. Then, she released her divine sense. She had scanned the entire city several times with her divine sense. Logically speaking, it was impossible for her to miss Lin Rei. However, at this moment, just as Xia Feng was thinking that she could not find him at all, she released her divine sense to cover the entire city. Then, she felt a pleasant surprise. What? A surprised cry rang out. The originally expressionless evil phoenix suddenly revealed a smile. It was a happy smile. Ying and the other male disciples, who had heard that Linli wasn't in the city, all looked at evil phoenix when they heard her cry out. However, when they saw the happy smile on evil phoenix's face, they couldn't help but smile. Suddenly, the extinguished flame in their hearts was reignited. This guy. At this moment, in her divine sense, Xia Feng saw Lin Rei. At this moment, he was in an alley on the east side of the street. Naturally, he was accompanied by the Red Lotus and the Red Tiger. Looking at him, Xia Feng's desire instantly surged. However, her excitement was stronger than her desire. You guys wait here. By the way, informed the dark group. Ask them to wait here. I found Lin Ray and the others. I'll go and pick them up. She came back to her senses and sensed Lin Ray's current location. After she said this to Ying, she did not wait for the others to respond. She did not wait for them to agree. The moment she finished speaking, she disappeared in front of everyone. This scene made Ying feel very helpless. He wanted to refute, but he knew that he was no match for Xie Feng. In the end, he could only accept this result helplessly. Thinking about this, Ying gestured to the young man beside him to inform the dark group and ask them to come over. Do as she says. Yes. Hearing Ying's words, the young man replied, I'll go inform them and ask them to come over. After saying that, the man disappeared. He had been in the dark unit for a period of time. Therefore, it was easy for him to find the traces of the dark group. At this moment, in a gloomy and mossy alley in the east side of the city, Lin Ray, who was originally expressionless, was riding the red flame tiger towards the exit. Suddenly, Lin Ray stretched out his hand and patted the red flame tiger's forehead. The corners of his mouth rose slightly, revealing an unfathomable smile. Then, he raised his head and looked to the right side of the sky. All right, come out. You're already here and you're still sneaking around. Xie Feng, have you changed? I remember that you used to disdain doing this kind of thing the most. Heh heh heh. Boy, are you good at hearing? I didn't expect that even though I'm blind, my heart would be so much clearer. I didn't expect you to be able to sense this. Not bad at all. At this moment, Lin Ray, who had just finished speaking, thought that Xie Feng would not appear. Unexpectedly, the moment he finished speaking, Xie Feng's smiling voice rang out. At the same time, the moment the voice rang out, a young woman in red appeared in the originally empty sky. However, what made Lin Ray feel a little uncomfortable was that the moment Xie Feng appeared, Lin Ray was a little surprised by the resentful look in her eyes. Heh heh, stinking brat, you're really something. You're quite good at hiding. You actually made me search for you for such a long time. Speak. Where have you been all this time? Why didn't you inform us? Just as Lin Ray was about to speak, Xie Feng interrupted Lin Ray and asked all the questions in her heart. Of course, the most important question was why she didn't sense his presence in the city earlier. This was very important to her. Looking at Xie Feng's current appearance, she was completely the cold and murderous Xie Feng of the past. Presumably. They were two completely different people. Especially now, she was questioning Lin Ray like a little resentful wife. In response, Lin Li's expression froze, and he unconsciously answered the question she had asked before. Yes, it's like this. At the very least, after I separated from you all, I came to this alley. Merely, what I didn't expect was that. However, I didn't expect that in the depths of this alley, there's an old woman in front of me. Moreover, there's a magic circle in the periphery. Probably because of the existence of that magic circle, you didn't sense my presence. What? Millions of years? What level of cultivator is she? Is there anything special about her or? At this moment, after hearing Lin Ray's words, Xie Feng was shocked and immediately asked all kinds of questions. In response, Lin Ray didn't find it strange. After all, he heard the old woman say that he was even better than Xie Feng. Seeing that she was so anxious, Lin Ray said, Yes, I heard that a powerhouse from the void made a deal with her. As for his level, he should be a Dao fruit sage. Moreover, there's nothing special about him. At this point, Lin Ray continued with a slightly strange expression, That's not right. If I'm not wrong, according to this time, shouldn't you have been sealed long ago? Why are you so agitated? Even if that old woman is doing something, she has nothing to do with you. So, don't think about it. Moreover, I don't want to go to that kind of place anymore. With that, Lin Ray didn't wait for Xie Feng and gestured to the scarlet flaming tiger under him. The scarlet flaming tiger immediately understood and strode out. Hey! Kid, I finally came to pick you up. Why are you looking down on me? Looking at Lin Rei's back, suddenly. Xia Feng's face darkened. She turned around and asked Lin Rei in a cold tone. However, although she said it was a question, in Lin Rei's eyes, it was more like a threat. If someone was here and knew that there was a great disparity in strength between the two of them, they would also think so. Sure enough, the moment Xia Feng finished speaking, Lin Rei and the scarlet flaming tiger trembled. Then, they turned around and said to Xia Feng, "How would I dare? You said you were looking for her. I'm leading the way for you. Let's go. Let's go out together." With that, Lin Rei gestured to the scarlet flaming tiger to grow bigger. The scarlet flaming tiger's body instantly expanded. In order to keep running, the scarlet flaming tiger grew to the size of an alley. "Come on. Let's go out together." At this moment, Lin Rei, who was sitting on the back of the scarlet flaming tiger, looked at Xia Feng and reached out to pull her up. This action made Xia Feng blush. Okay. The blushing Xia Feng didn't reject Lin Rei. She reached out and grabbed Lin Rei's hand. Suddenly, a force passed through Lin Rei's hand. In the next moment, her entire body flew up and landed behind Lin Rei. After doing all this, Lin Rei waved his hand. The moment his spiritual energy rushed out, it transformed into a palm and directly grabbed Hong Lian's body. Then, he placed her behind Xia Feng. Go. Woo! The scarlet flaming tiger obeyed Lin Rei's orders. With a long howl, it ran wildly toward the exit. Where are we going? Where are they waiting for us? At this moment, Lin Rei, who was sitting on the back of the scarlet flaming tiger, didn't turn around. Instead, he looked at Xia Feng with his divine sense and asked calmly and gently. In the central area of Tianliang City. She replied to Lin Rei, "Oh, by the way, the dark operation of the Xuanzong sect is also here. They are looking for you all over the city." What? They're here? Hearing Xia Feng's words, Lin Rei was not surprised. Because he knew that as long as the news came, they would naturally come. Therefore, after hearing Xia Feng say that the dark operation was here, Lin Rei asked calmly. "Yes, they're here. Also, I heard that the leaders this time are Dian Wei and Bai Qi. But they already know that you're missing. I'm afraid that they are now searching for you in the city." Looking at Lin Rei, Xia Feng continued, "But don't worry. When we came here, I asked my male brother to send a message to them. Maybe they have already received the news that you've been found. It won't be long before you reach the central area. You should be able to see them soon. Dian Wei, Bai Qi. How are you two doing now? What's your cultivation level now? I'm really looking forward to meeting you again. I hope you won't forget me." At this moment, while Xia Feng and Lin Rei were talking, Hong Lian, who was sitting in the back, murmured with nostalgia in her heart. She was most familiar with Dian Wei and Bai Qi. After all, they appeared at the same time. Moreover, they had experienced life and death together. She couldn't forget them, and she believed that they couldn't forget them either. Are you looking forward to it? At this moment, Linley, who was using his divine sense to investigate Red Lotus' every move, saw the anticipation on her face. His lips curled up into a happy smile. He then retracted his divine sense and began to investigate Evil Phoenix. "How was your shopping while I was away? Did you buy anything? How is Humph." Hearing Lin Rei's words, Xia Feng rolled her eyes at him and then said, "Your wife is fine, but you must be careful. After you disappeared, she was very worried about you. She even cried several times." "What? Is it that serious?" Hearing the Evil Phoenix's words, Linley's entire body trembled. In his heart, he knew that things weren't going well. This sort of situation usually led to a very miserable death. Especially when they weren't allowed to sleep in their rooms. This was terrible. "Humph, how dare you say it's serious? Why didn't you leave with us? Now, nobody can help you. You just wait to be left out when you go back. At this point, the demonic phoenix didn't give Linley another chance. Instead, she closed her eyes and began to rest. However, there was a smile on her face the entire time. Seeing Xia Feng like this, Lin Rei knew what she meant. Therefore, he didn't ask for a snub and began to cultivate. Chapter 673. Whoosh. On the street, a fiery red figure dashed past in a flash. After that, the surrounding people only felt a gust of wind blow past them. They did not feel anything else. At this moment, the troublesome fiery red figure was none other than the red flame tiger that was carrying Lin Rei, Hong Lian, and the others. At this moment, the red flame tiger was rushing towards the center of Tianliang City according to the information provided by Xia Feng. It was not only the red flame tiger. At this moment, all around Tianliang City, black figures were rushing towards the center of Tianliang City. In the city, this scene could only be felt by those with high cultivations. As for those with low cultivations, they could not feel anything. The surrounding scene was the same as before. A young lady, the members of the dark operation have already received my notice. They are now heading towards where we are. Furthermore, I can feel the auras of the young master and the red flame tiger. They are also heading towards us. Therefore, we only need to wait quietly. In the center of Tianliang City, there were originally only the 3 ghost kings and Ing standing there. A moment ago, there were 4 of them. The next moment, the male disciple who went to inform the members of the dark operation to return said to Ing. All right. You have worked hard. Just wait here. I believe they will be back soon. As he spoke, the red flame tiger that was carrying Lin Rei and Xia Feng had already arrived not far from the center of Tianliang City. At this moment, its originally huge figure quickly shrunk and returned to its normal size. Furthermore, it slowed down at this moment. Hong Lian and Xia Feng, who were sitting on the red flame tiger's back, jumped down the moment the red flame tiger slowed down. However, they did not slow down and followed beside Lin Rei, walking side by side with the red flame tiger. Brother Lei. A young lady, Brother Lei is back. The male disciple immediately sensed Lin Rei's aura approaching and shouted at Ing and the 3 ghost kings. Perhaps because he was too excited, he did not control his volume. At this moment, everyone's attention was on them. I saw it. I saw it. Ing didn't say anything in response to her younger brother's shouts. However, her eyes started to tear up. As for the male brother, he didn't care about the gazes around him at all. At this moment, he didn't have the time to care about the gazes around him because finding Lin Rei was the most important thing to him. Sigh. At this moment, Lin Rei, who was sitting on the back of the scarlet flame tiger, sensed Xia Feng and Ying's actions. Lin Rei's consciousness sensed that Ing, who was not far away, was looking at him with teary eyes. For a moment, Lin Rei felt guilty. With a sigh, before the red flame tiger could react, Lin Rei's figure suddenly disappeared. In the next moment, under everyone's gaze, Lin Rei, who had disappeared, naturally appeared beside Ing. Don't worry, I'm fine. Besides, don't you know how strong your husband is? In the entire realm of the gods, except for those ultimate gods and those who have domains, the others. Ha! As he spoke, Lin Rei's hand stroked her head gently with a smile on his face. His other hand gently wiped away the tears that had already fallen from her eyes. You're always like this. Tell me, how many times has it been? You're always like this. Feeling her husband's hand, Ing blushed. However, the nervousness in her eyes was irreplaceable. Her tone was even more nervous. Okay, everyone is watching. When we get home, you can punish me however you want. Okay. Looking at his wife, Lin Rei smiled and nodded. Then, he nodded to the three ghost kings beside him and didn't say anything else. At this moment, the Scarlet Flame Tiger, Hong Lian, and Xia Feng had already arrived beside him. Young master. Young master. This sudden voice startled Linley, and a familiar feeling welled up in his heart. As soon as this voice rang out, a figure with a rough face and an anxious look appeared in Linley's mind. Dian Wei. I wonder how strong this guy is. After learning that the voice belonged to Dian Wei, Lin Rei pondered for a moment and then disappeared. What? At this moment, the moment Lin Rei disappeared, Dian Wei, Lin Rei, Ying, and the three ghost kings were all stunned. They didn't understand Lin Rei's action at all. However, while they were full of confusion and didn't understand why Lin Rei did that, they all understood in the next moment. At this moment, Lin Rei, who had disappeared, appeared above Dian Wei. His terrifying cultivation and suppression filled the entire central area at this moment. How? Dian Wei had already sensed it. He raised his head and looked at Lin Rei, only to exclaim in shock. However, the moment he exclaimed, a finger mark appeared and charged at him. Dian Wei didn't have a chance to look at it at all. Then, he activated his technique and launched a battle technique at the finger mark that was charging at him. What? What's going on? At this moment, the surrounding crowd was stunned. However, at this moment, everyone fell into silence. Boom. Bam. One punch and one finger. The two battle techniques collided. All of a sudden, both of them stepped back and stopped. It seemed that they were in a tie, but Dian Wei knew that he was already at a disadvantage in the previous attack. Of course, it was partly because he was in a hurry and wasn't fully prepared, but Dian Wei knew very well that he was no match for the guy. However, while he was shocked, Lin Rei launched another attack at him. This time, he clearly sensed the killing intent in it. Dian Wei became more cautious. He knew that if he wasn't serious, his body might be penetrated by the attack and he would fall to the ground and die. Come on, young master. Looking at Lin Rei, Dian Wei became solemn and serious. Then, he quickly made a hand seal. A golden longsword appeared in an instant. At this moment, the surrounding people felt the vigorous sword will from the golden longsword. Hee. Dian Wei is getting serious. I didn't expect him to grow to such a level. Alas, I wonder how Bai Qi has grown. At this moment, Red Lotus, who was standing far away, was completely shocked by the scene. But at the same time, she was very happy for her two friends, especially Dian Wei, who used to be the most scared of her. Dark Moon Sword? Not bad. I didn't expect that after not seeing you for such a long time, you would actually learn the sword technique that I kept in the Sect's library. Not bad at all. I just don't know if you can withstand this move of mine. Looking at the golden sword, an amused smile appeared on Linley's face. Then, he observed his attack with his divine consciousness. With a whoosh, the moment the fingerprint was close to Dian Wei, the golden longsword dashed out like a murderer waking up from a deep sleep. The longsword disappeared in front of everybody's eyes in a flash, turning into an undetectable golden sword mark that charged at the fingerprint and collided with it. Bam! The two attacks collided. The fingerprint and the golden longsword were evenly matched, but that was only in the eyes of those with low cultivations. However, it wasn't the case for Xia Feng and the three ghost kings. Hee, that man is tough, but young master has suppressed him. Although it doesn't look like it, we have to admit that he has lost. Hearing the comments of the three ghost kings, Xia Feng said with a smile, that's right. However, he had already guessed the outcome. How could a person who could defeat a godly venerable rank expert lose to his own subordinate? Even though his opponent is at the peak of the divine emperor realm. Yes. Hearing this, everyone nodded in unison and admitted this fact. Bam! At this moment, the golden longsword and the fingerprint that were confronting each other in the air instantly collapsed, but the fingerprint seemed to be completely fine. The moment the golden longsword disappeared, the fingerprint rushed to Dian Wei at the same speed and crashed into him without any resistance. After a bang, Dian Wei was sent flying. His face was pale, and there was blood on the corner of his mouth. Hee. As expected of the young master. Dian Wei is going to suffer this time. He'll be bedridden for at least half a month after that strike. Standing in the distance, Bai Qi, who came with Dian Wei, smiled when he saw Dian Wei's current appearance. A hint of a smile appeared on his face as he walked over to Linli and bowed. Greetings, young master. I haven't seen you for many years. Have you? Bai Qi's words came to an abrupt halt. Bai Qi raised his head to look at Linli. His eyes were filled with terror, anger, killing intent, and many other emotions. All of them were present on his face. Hearing Bai Qi's words, Lin Rei released his divine consciousness. However, the moment he saw Bai Qi's current appearance, he knew that Bai Qi wanted to kill the man who had blinded him. In response, Lin Rei said with an indifferent smile, "There's no need for that. I'm just blind. Besides, you saw it yourself. Even so, Dian Wei is still no match for me, isn't he?" However, no matter how relaxed he was, in Bai Qi's heart, he hated the person who had blinded Linli to the core. Right now, he wanted nothing more than to kill that person. What he did not know was that the person who had blinded Linli was the Holy World's heavenly emperor, Hao Tian. Young master. Who did it? Please tell me. I've already killed him. Not only him, but also before he blinded you. He should have been prepared to be annihilated. As expected, Lin Rei seemed to understand something after hearing Bai Qi's words. Looking at him, Lin Rei said calmly, "Forget it. Even if it's you, me, or the entire Xuanzong sect, we can't afford to offend him right now. Besides, don't worry. As long as I reach a certain level, my eyes will be cured." Ah, a cry of pain rang out from afar. Instantly, both Linli and Bai Qi turned to look at the source of the cry. They saw that the person who cried out in pain was Dian Wei, who had been blown away by Lin Rei. At this moment, his face was very pale, and the blood at the corner of his mouth was very obvious. He was completely different from before. Hee, looking at Dian Wei, Lin Rei smiled and said to Bai Qi, "Go. He was seriously injured. Give this pill to him." As he spoke, Lin Rei took out a venerable level healing pill from his storage ring and gave it to Bai Qi, hinting for him to go. "Yes, young master." Bai Qi did not refute Lin Rei's words. Although he was eager to know who had blinded Lin Rei, he knew that he was not capable of doing so after hearing what Lin Rei had just said. Looking at Lin Rei's current state, Bai Qi felt sorry for him. Then, he teleported to Dian Wei's side and grabbed his chin with one hand while stuffing the pill into his mouth with the other. The pill melted as soon as it entered his mouth. The moment Dian Wei swallowed the pill, he had not tasted the taste of the pill yet. The surface of the pill had already dissipated and turned into energy that fused with his hand. A venerable level pill was simply an overkill for him. After swallowing the pill, Dian Wei's wounds were healed at a visible speed. Shoot. Looking at this scene, Bai Qi's eyes widened. His eyes were filled with disbelief and shock. At this moment, Dian Wei, who had been moaning on the ground, got up and ignored Bai Qi. And then, with a flash, he appeared in front of Linli and bowed. "I, Dian Wei, am here to welcome you." He lowered his head the whole time as he spoke. As for the previous battle, Lin Rei didn't give him any time to see Lin Rei's current state. "Get up, brat. I didn't expect that you'd become so strong after so many years. However, you're still as irritable as ever." As he spoke, Lin Rei couldn't help but have mixed feelings. At this moment, he looked at Dian Wei as if it were yesterday. "Young master, Hearing Lin Rei's words, Dian Wei raised his head with a smile and was about to speak to Lin Rei, when he saw what Lin Rei looked like at this moment. Who did this to you? Dian Wei roared furiously. At this moment, Dian Wei's eyes were bloodshot, and his face looked like that of a devil. Even the three ghost kings were shocked to see him. Alas! Looking at him, Lin Rei knew that this was going to happen, but he didn't expect Dian Wei to be so agitated. Okay, I'm fine. Let's not talk about this anymore. Besides, we've just reunited. We should have a few drinks and a chat, shouldn't we? Chapter 674. With that, Lin Rei turned around and walked towards Ing. He didn't want Bai Qi and Ing to end up like this. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. However, just as Lin Rei turned around and took a step forward, the sound of something breaking through the air could be heard. In response, Lin Rei, who had used his divine sense to investigate the strange sound, smiled happily. At this moment, the sound of something breaking through the air, accompanied by a huge amount of cultivation, arrived in front of Lin Rei in the blink of an eye and surrounded him. 10 people, 50 people, 100 people. The sound of something breaking through the air only stopped after more than 100 people had appeared. At this moment, everyone in the central zone was stunned when they saw the appearance of more than 100 people in black. Among them, there was no lack of disciples from aristocratic families and sections. At this moment, when they saw what these people in black did next, they were all shocked, especially when they heard how they addressed Lin Rei. Plop, plop. At this moment, the sound of something breaking through the air became one. At this moment, 100 people in black knelt in front of Lin Rei at the same time. There was a trace of nostalgia on their faces as they greeted him. Their deafening voices shook the entire central zone. We, the dark troop of the Xuanzong sect, pay our respects to the sect leader. As soon as these words were spoken, a terrifying wave of energy was set off in the central zone. After all, they were all powerful cultivators. When they spoke, perhaps because they were too excited to see Lin Rei, they didn't control their cultivation at all when they kowtowed to him. The energy waves spread out in all directions. In response, the disciples from aristocratic families and sects standing in the crowd were stunned at this moment. How is this possible? The Xuanzong sect? What kind of sect is the Xuanzong sect? Why haven't I heard of this sect before? Moreover, this group of people's cultivation is so strong. More than 100. Divine sect cultivators, this. Impossible. When was the Xuanzong sect established? Why didn't the sect receive any notice? What's going on? Why would such a thing happen? What are the sects doing collecting information? Why didn't anyone report it except for such a powerful sect? At this moment, the disciples of the aristocratic families and sects who were standing in the crowd were all thinking about the same thing. They still had lingering fears about what had just happened, especially after the long battle. They could tell that their cultivations were at the Emperor God realm. In their minds, only the patriarchs of their sects could have such a realm. At this moment, everyone was shocked. No one knew about the rise of such a sect. Moreover, the most frightening thing was that it wasn't just the two of them. Even the 100 or so people who appeared later were divine ancestor level experts. They found it even harder to accept. According to the classification of the sects in the celestial plane, only grade 1 or top grade sects would have such a large group of cultivators. Naturally, there were not only cultivators in the celestial plane. There were also ordinary people. After all, they could cultivate. Not everyone could. Some of them didn't have spiritual roots, so they couldn't cultivate. Moreover, only 1 in 10,000 people could cultivate. However, at this moment, Linley had no idea what the disciples of the various clans and sects were thinking. He also didn't know that because of the commotion caused by the Dark Department, the entire realm of the gods was once again thrown into chaos. After all, the information system of the realm of the gods wouldn't miss the emergence of a sect. At this moment, Lin Rei, who was standing where he was, listened to the shouts of the people around him. Instantly, he seemed to see his days in the celestial plane, and the smile on his face grew wider. Get up. Yes, we will obey your orders. Hearing Lin Rei's order, all the members of the dark group stood up. However, the moment they saw Lin Rei's condition, they were all filled with hatred and killing intent, just like Dian Wei and Bai Qi. They couldn't wait to find the person who blinded Lin Rei, cut him into pieces, capture his soul, and make him suffer the pain of being bitten by evil ghosts. Sensing their killing intent, Lin Rei spoke first before they could say anything. You don't have to be so angry. When my eyes reach a certain level, they will be able to see again. Besides, if you're so angry, the person who hurt me won't be punished. Therefore, you don't have to be angry. What you need to do is to strengthen your own opinions and make yourself stronger. Only in this way can the sect not be threatened. Do you understand? At this moment, Lin Rei's voice was so loud that not only the 100 members of the dark group could hear it. Even all the people in the central area could hear him. After hearing his words, they couldn't help but nod in admiration. After all, he was right. Instead of pursuing the illusory result, it was better to strengthen oneself and prepare for all the possible accidents in the future. Yes, sir. At this moment, the 100 members of the dark group all nodded in response. Looking at them with his divine consciousness, Lin Rei smiled and said, well, you don't have to threaten me here. The people around are watching. You can leave now. Today, let's go to the sect. I'd like to see what it looks like now that the sect has been established. Yes, sir. We'll leave now. Hearing Lin Li's order, the members of the dark group instantly disappeared in front of everyone and retreated to the void to protect him. Let's go and have some food. Then we'll leave. We've been in the divine realm for such a long time. It's time for us to have a look. The moment the members of the dark group disappeared, Lin Rei said to them. Then he released his divine consciousness and found a restaurant not far away. Then, without waiting for their consent, he flashed to the red flame tiger and ordered it to go to the restaurant. Everyone was speechless about this scene. However, they had no choice. They didn't dare to disobey Lin Rei's order. Then, they followed Lin Rei to the restaurant. Red Lotus. I didn't expect you to come back. At this moment, Bai Qi and Dian Wei, who saw Red Lotus, looked at her with excitement, nostalgia, and longing. Yes, I'm finally back. Hearing Dian Wei's question, Red Lotus said, it's been 1,000 years. I left because of something. But don't worry, I won't do it again. Well, that's good. You don't know how sad young master was when you left. It took him a long time to recover. Got it. Hearing Bai Qi's words, Red Lotus nodded heavily and agreed. Hey, that's enough, you two. It's supposed to be a happy reunion. Look at you. Dian Wei looked at the two of them and rolled his eyes helplessly for a moment before he spoke. Aren't we all back now? Then the three of us can be together again. Let's just work for the young master like before. Okay. Seeing Dian Wei's reaction, the two of them looked at each other and smiled. Then they said, okay, let's hurry up and follow them. After that, the three of them closed their mouths, and the team quieted down. While they were talking, Ying had been listening. She was also very curious about Red Lotus, but no one had told her what was going on. However, after hearing Dian Wei and Bai Qi's conversation, she couldn't help but feel jealous. There was a trace of unhappiness and jealousy in his heart. Using his cultivation, Ying instantly disappeared. When Ying reappeared, she was already on the back of the flaming tiger. She reached out and hugged Lin Li's back. Lying on top of him, she closed her eyes peacefully. Well, Lin Rei naturally sensed this scene, but he didn't know that Ying was like this because of Red Lotus. However, at this moment, Red Lotus, who was in the team, looked at Ying with a strange look in her eyes, but it didn't last long before she became calm again. The restaurant was not far away. Soon, they arrived and went in. The moment they entered, the whole restaurant was filled with the fragrance of food and the sound of food. Let's go and find a place to sit down. After dinner, we'll go back to the sect. Yes, young master, brother Lei, boy. Hearing this, they all responded to Lin Rei in different voices and went to a corner. Although the location was not good, it was just right for them to sit down. After they sat down, Dian Wei went to order food and returned to his seat. Looking at these familiar people, Lin Rei couldn't help but think of Ming, Tian Yun, and Bing. Thinking of them, Lin Rei couldn't help but feel a little guilty for Bing. He thought that since he put Bing into the system, she hadn't been released yet. As for Tian Yun and the others, they should still be cultivating in the system at this moment. He didn't know what their cultivation levels were. Alas. Thinking of this, Lin Li couldn't help but sigh. Back then, he had been intimate with Bing. But later, because he was too busy, and because of Jean Ling's matter, he neglected her for a long time. Then, because he was too sad, he had a mission at that time. In the end, he got together with Ying by accident. All of this made him feel guilty toward Bing. It seems that she should have been released when we arrived at the sect. I think Bing should be an expert at the peak of the Emperor God realm now. I just don't know if she has any complaints about me. Thinking of this, Lin Rei shook his head and didn't say anything. At this moment, the food was placed on the table. Come on, I'll feed you. At this moment, when Lin Rei just came to his senses, Jing picked up the bowl and chopsticks, picked up some dishes, and put them into Lin Rei's mouth. Seeing this, everyone at the table lowered their heads at the same time and began to eat seriously. Of course, there were some who didn't lower their heads, such as Red Lotus, Xia Feng, and Nan Wei. Chapter 675. That's not good. So many people are watching. Lin Rei, who had come back to his senses, heard his wife's words and immediately used his divine sense to look at the other people at the table. He saw that all of them were present. Except for a few, everyone else had their heads lowered, as if this scene did not exist. Regarding this, he stopped halfway through what he was about to say. With a helpless expression, he looked at his wife's serious and affectionate expression. He knew that this time, he could not avoid it. In the end, Lin Rei, who had wanted to persist, could only open his mouth and let his wife feed him. However, at this moment, the disciples of the aristocratic families and sects who had seen the Xuanzong sect incident in the central area quickly rushed to the communication center of another sect or aristocratic family in Tianliang City. The first thing they did was to spread the news of what they had seen today. Among them, the name Xuanzong sect and a blind young man. At this moment, in a spiritual weapons store in the eastern part of the city, a young man with a serious expression and a dragon badge on his chest spoke to the manager of the store. Long Yun, go. Pass on everything that you've seen today to the Long family without missing a single word. Even the name Xuanzong, spread it all out. Young master, this. At this moment, the middle-aged man standing opposite him heard the young man's words. For a moment, he looked embarrassed and stuttered as he spoke. Looking at Long Yun, the young man's face was filled with anger. Then, he said coldly, spread the news. I will bear any consequences. As soon as he said this, the middle-aged man called Long Yun's face changed. He immediately opened his mouth and nodded in agreement. Okay. Young Master Long, please wait here for a moment. I will go and spread the news. However, this scene did not only happen in the eastern part of the city. At this moment, the western part of the city, the southern part of the city, the northern part of the city, as well as the central area. The news they spread was nothing more than what they had seen in the central area of Tianliang City today. Even the Xuanzong sect, a sect that had never appeared in the God realm, was praised to the heavens. However, Lin Rei didn't know any of this. What he didn't know was that not long after the news was sent out, the sects and aristocratic families who received the news immediately held a meeting and sent people to investigate the Xuanzong sect. Lin Rei, who was currently eating in a restaurant, was naturally unaware of the actions of the God Realm sections. In the restaurant, Lin Li, who was sitting at the dining table, used his divine sense to observe everyone. Seeing that they had finished eating, he smiled and said to them, "Let's go. Dian Wei, Bai Qi, since you're from your sect, you'll lead the way now." "Yes, we will obey your orders." Hearing Lin Rei's order, Dian Wei and the other man stood up and bowed to Lin Rei in response. "Hee, all right. Since we're all done eating, let's go. The earlier we return to the sect, the earlier we can be at ease." "Yes, we will obey your orders." Hearing their response, Lin Rei nodded, stood up, and walked out of the restaurant. At this moment, the red flaming tiger obediently came to Lin Rei and let him sit on it. "Let's go, Ing-er." Looking at the red flaming tiger's behavior, Lin Rei reached out and grabbed Ing-er. Then, he jumped onto the red flaming tiger's back and left. As for Dian Wei and Bai Qi, they also flew in the front and led the way for Lin Rei and the others. Soon, they left the city and flew further north. Along the way, Lin Rei didn't ask where the sect was, and Dian Wei and the other man didn't say anything either. Just like that, they remained silent and didn't stop. Of course, although Heavenly Dragon Mountain was not far from Tianliang City, it wasn't close either. In the blink of an eye, 3 days had passed. During these 3 days, the entire God Realm became lively. Because of the appearance of Lin Rei and the strange Xuanzong sect in Tianliang City, as well as the appearance of hundreds of cultivators from the holy clans, the top sects and first-rank sects in the God Realm had completely attracted the attention of the top sects and first-rank sections. After all, a tall tree attracts the wind. In the God Realm, which wasn't peaceful to begin with, the sudden appearance of a terrifying sect made people wonder who would tolerate its existence. The answer was, of course, no. The upper echelons of the God Realm wouldn't tolerate the emergence of such a sect, let alone its awakening. Of course, because of Lin Rei's existence, some top sects in the God Realm quieted down, such as the Falling Star Pavilion, the Center Sect, and the Enigma Palace. After hearing the rumors about Lin Rei's appearance and the description of that person, those sect leaders who received the report all gave up the desire to investigate. It wasn't that they didn't want to, but that they weren't good at all. What happened in Tianwei City was imprinted in their minds at all times. How could they afford to offend someone who was able to defeat 5 great venerables? Not only that, the moment they found out that the Xuanzong sect was Lin Rei, the Falling Star Pavilion, the Enigma Palace, and the Center Sect immediately sealed their sects and passed down a message that no one was allowed to come out for 100 years. They were also not allowed to have any conflicts with the Xuanzong sect. Furthermore, they also said that those who disobeyed the order would have their 9 generations annihilated. When the disciples who had been complaining heard this order, their murderous aura disappeared without a trace. Heavenly Dragon Mountain, at the entrance of the Xuanzong sect. At this moment, a group of people was standing at the entrance. Everyone's face was filled with smiles and excitement. Some of them even had an indescribable expression on their faces. They looked out into the distance as if they were looking for something. "Father, Grandpa. Why isn't Grandpa back yet?" At this moment, a 4 or 5-year-old child standing next to the young man who spoke the most was tugging on the young man's clothes and asking in a childish voice. Ling-er, be good. Grandpa is still on his way. He'll be here soon. Let's wait quietly. Alright, if your grandpa sees you, he'll definitely be very happy." At this moment, the person who spoke was none other than the current sect master of the Xuanzong sect, Lin Yun. The 5-year-old child beside him was his son, Lin Ling. At this moment, that child's face was delicate and pretty. She had a baby face, chubby and cute. However, the most adorable thing was her pair of eyes. They were bright and watery, making people want to dote on her. Moreover, her childish voice made people like her even more. Overall, she was a young lady who was very beautiful. Big brother Yun, do you think father won't recognize me and my son? After all, we didn't get his permission to celebrate Father's Day back then. I'm afraid. Just as Lin Yun was speaking to Lin Ling, a weak voice was heard, instantly attracting Lin Yun's attention. Sigh. He turned his head to look at the person who spoke. She was very beautiful, but her brows were always furrowed together, as if she was constantly troubled by something. Looking at her, Lin Yun said with a pained expression, Yuan, don't worry. Father will be fine. You have to believe in yourself. Besides, if father hears you mention Father's Day, I'm afraid he'll go crazy. Then I won't say anything, Hearing Lin Yun's words, Yuan's face became even more nervous, and her brows furrowed even deeper. Alright, don't worry. Father won't say anything. Don't worry, father is a very easy person to get along with. Although he's usually a little strict, that's for our own good. Looking at his wife, the moment Lin Yun finished speaking, he reached out to hold her shoulders and pulled her into his embrace. Father, there's someone flying over. Quick, look. At this moment, Lin Ling's childish voice looked into the distance. Her face was full of joy as she pointed at a few black dots that suddenly appeared in front of them and shouted happily. What? Lin Ling's words attracted the attention of everyone present. Then, everyone looked into the distance. Instantly, when everyone saw the black dots in the distance, a trace of joy and excitement appeared on their faces. It's father. Father, they're back. It's father. At this moment, when Lin Yun saw the black dots, his eyes were moist, and his nose was sour. At this moment, tears flowed down uncontrollably. At this moment, he was completely different from the stern-looking Xuanzong sect leader who had just arrived. And this time, it wasn't just the upper echelons of the sect who came to welcome him. Some of the disciples who had come in contact with him were also newly recruited. Therefore, the moment they saw Lin Yun cry, the image of Lin Yun in their hearts was completely overturned. Sect leader is crying. Sect leader is actually Shu. Perhaps it was because he didn't dare to believe it. That young disciple suddenly exclaimed. At this moment, the middle-aged man standing beside him hurriedly made a gesture to silence him. You're crazy. You have to be calm at this time. After all, our sect leader hasn't seen the old sect leader for 1,000 years. This is inevitable. Moreover, you're a newly recruited disciple, so you don't know much about this. I'll tell you about the history of the sect later. Oh, okay. Regarding this, the two reached an agreement. Then, they shut their mouths and became serious. At this moment, the black dots in the distance were getting closer and closer. Eventually, the black dots slowly became the shadows of people. Finally, their appearances appeared in the eyes of everyone standing at the sect gate. Father, at this moment, Lin Yun, who had been staring at Lin Rei, was just about to greet him when he saw the blind Lin Rei sitting on the scarlet flame tiger. Immediately, his words came to an abrupt halt and were replaced by incomparable anger and killing intent. What's going on? Father, Lin Rei had been the pillar of support in his heart for so many years. Moreover, in his heart, Lin Rei's figure was the strongest. However, at this moment, he saw this scene. He couldn't believe it. He didn't dare to believe it. Since he was young, he had always thought that his father was the strongest person in the world. But standing in front of this scene, he was shocked and at the same time, his heart ached. Chapter 676. He had never felt this kind of heart-wrenching pain, not even when Jean Ling and Jean En died. At this moment, Lin Rei was getting closer and closer. His consciousness naturally sensed Lin Yun's aura. He was extremely excited at this moment. After all, he was the only son in the family. After not seeing him for so long, how could he not miss him? Although he was a god, he was still a human after all. He couldn't abandon his 7 emotions and 6 desires. Time passed by bit by bit. In the blink of an eye, a few minutes had passed. Within this short period of time, Linley had brought everyone to the entrance of the mysterious sect. "Greetings, Sect Master." At this moment, the moment Lin Rei returned to the entrance of the Xuanzong sect, the people who were waiting at the entrance knelt on the ground with excitement and respect. They faced Lin Rei as if they were hundreds of Dark Department members. Looking at them, Lin Rei's heart was filled with nostalgia. Looking at them, Lin Rei couldn't help thinking of the beautiful memories he had with them. "Get up, all of you." Looking at them, he said to them. Then he slowly walked to Lin Yun's side. Looking at his son who had reached the Divine Emperor realm, he suddenly felt proud. "Not bad. It seems that you haven't been lazy during this period of time. During this period of time, you were able to break through to the Divine Emperor Dan realm. I'm only proud of you." Saying that, Lin Rei stepped forward with a smile and hugged him, giving him a hug that he had never had before. At this moment, Lin Yun, who was unprepared, felt as if he was in a dream. He couldn't tell whether this was real or not because, in his memory, his father had never hugged him on his own initiative. Of course, that was when they first met. "Father, your eyes, haha, it's fine." Hearing his son's words, Lin Rei's body trembled. Then he calmly gave him a reassuring smile and stood aside. "Not bad, all of you have done very well. All of you have made great progress. It seems that all of you have worked very hard in this period of time. Regarding this, I am very happy because your strength has increased. Regarding this, in 5 days, I will distribute your respective rewards to all of you." "Yes, Sect Master, we understand." Hearing Lin Rei's words, everyone present revealed smiles. Their expressions became even more uneasy. Regarding the reward mentioned by Lin Rei, everyone who followed him knew that this reward was not light. All right. Since there's nothing else, everyone can go back to their own duties. It's not a big deal that I'm back. Give me some time to gather with my family. When I have time, I'll visit you all. How about that? Yes. If that's the case, we'll take our leave first. As for Lin Rei's words, everyone agreed. Immediately after. They didn't stay for long. After replying, they left. However, at that moment, Linley saw a person. This person was filled with a shocking murderous aura. Linley looked at him, and the only remaining memory of him appeared in his mind. Kill the heavens. Regarding this name and this person, Lin Rei did not know why this person would always exist in his mind. However, he remembered Shaishan's abilities very clearly. "TSK, I didn't expect that a person as powerful as you would be blinded by someone. Sigh. Let's see how many people that person has." Hearing Shaishan's words, Linley revealed a smile and said, "I advise you not to. You're only at the God realm now. At your current level, it's still impossible. Unless you enter the sage state, you'll only be able to fight with that person. Otherwise, you'll just be courting death. Moreover, you can't even go." Hearing this, Shatian fell silent. He believed that Lin Rei was telling the truth. After all, there was no need for him to lie. Looking at Shaishan's unconvinced expression, Lin Rei laughed. "All right, let's leave this matter at that. If you want to defeat the person who defeated me, you'll have to surpass me first. If you can't even defeat me, then you'll just go." I'm not going to talk nonsense with you. I'm going to cultivate." Hearing Linley's words, Shaishan's face was filled with displeasure as he coldly snorted at Linley before disappearing. Seeing Shatian disappear, Lin Rei's smile slowed down. He knew that his words had provoked Shatian and that Shatian would cultivate even harder in the future. Lin Rei, original body. However, the moment Shatian disappeared, 2 voices could be heard. Instantly, Lin Rei extended his consciousness and saw 2 familiar figures. Di Tian? Gusi? These two people weren't strangers. One was a friend of the divine sect and the other was his clone. However, what made Lin Ray curious was why they were here. However, looking at them, it seemed like they had been here for a long time. Nonsense, we've been here for a long time. When the sect was being built, we were already here. Initially, we wanted to wait for you to come back. I didn't think that it would take you so long to find this place. Yeah, but my thoughts are different from Gusi's. I came out this time specifically to find you. This matter is very serious and it concerns the life and death of the entire Xuanzong sect. What? Hearing the conversation between the two of them, Linli was shocked when he heard Sakra's words. However, he was also puzzled. After all, he didn't know what was going on. How could it be related to the life and death of the sect? Yeah, it's like this. Looking at Lin Ray, Di Tian glanced at everyone. He didn't say it out loud but transmitted a message. This time, I heard that the Qiankuan sect of the divine world is looking for someone with purple blood. Furthermore, from what they said, the search for purple blood is from the higher-ups. Purple blood? When he heard Indra's voice transmission, Linli's heart grew nervous. He knew about violet blood. Indra was his avatar and naturally knew even more. However, what puzzled him was why the Qiankuan sect was looking for him. Also, this was the meaning of the upper echelons. When he heard this, Linli instantly understood the meaning of the upper echelons. This was the divine world and the higher-ups meant the holy world. Thinking of this, Lin Ray's head hurt. He couldn't imagine that this matter would involve the holy world. Linli had deep enmity with the saints' world in the first place, and now that his bloodline was involved as well, he had to be careful. Firstly, he didn't want his son and the sect to be implicated because of his bloodline. Secondly, he wanted to know why the Qiankuan sect of the divine world and the people of the holy world were looking for purple blood. Furthermore, Linli himself was very puzzled as well. Why were they searching for blood violet? What was their goal in searching for blood violet? This series of questions, to the current Linli, was without a doubt a problem that gave him a headache. This is the reason why I looked for you this time. However, I found Little Cloud and that's why you saw me here. As for Gusi, he followed Little Cloud and that's how we got to know each other. Hearing Di Tian's explanation, Lin Ray nodded. Alright, since you're here, then stay here. After all, I'm relieved with you around. Lin Ray said and cast a reassuring look at Di Tian. He believed in his clone's strength. After all, this was his clone. Okay. Di Tian replied to Lin Ray and retreated to the side. As for the reason why he was blinded, he didn't ask. Phew, looking at Sakra's departure, Linli let out a long sigh as a look of nervousness appeared on his face. Based on the news that Sakra had just given him, this was enough to prove why the Qiankuan sect would target him back in the immortal world. Of course, he believed that the conflict was a part of it. However, he believed that they knew about purple blood. Grandpa. Grandpa. The sudden call of Grandpa caused Linli, who was deep in thought, to be stunned. Grandpa? What the hell is Grandpa? Moreover, he never thought that he would become a grandpa so soon. Coming back to his senses, Linli heard those childish words. For a moment, Linli's divine sense couldn't help but turn to look at the child standing at his feet. Linli was instantly filled with confusion, and his face was filled with confusion. However, he liked this child very much. He liked her very much. After all, she was very cute and very likable. Looking at him, Linli smiled and squatted down. He smiled and said, "Little kid, who are you? Why are you calling me Grandpa? Also, I'm very young. Don't call me Grandpa, call me Big Brother." When he thought of this, Lin Yun who was standing at the side had a deflated expression. It was as if he had eaten sh*t. On the other side, Gu Si and Di Tian couldn't help but laugh. Looking at everyone's laughter, Lin Rei was even more confused. However, he didn't pay much attention to them. Instead, he focused all his attention on the child. Speak. Why are you here? Who are your parents? Didn't they tell you that it's dangerous here? Moreover, just as Lin Rei was talking non-stop, Lin Yun couldn't take it anymore. If he continued, his daughter's seniority would surpass his. Father. Don't say that. She's your granddaughter. Oh, my granddaughter. Hearing his son's words, Lin Rei didn't react for a moment. His face was filled with calmness. However, in the next moment, Lin Rei's expression changed completely. He cried out in surprise. What? My granddaughter? This is you. Seeing such a big reaction from his father, Lin Yun felt happy in his heart. He immediately pulled the girl beside him into his embrace and said, "Father, this is my wife. I met her in the immortal world. Her name is Sun Yuan. As for this little girl, she is my daughter with Yuan. Her name is Lin Ling." Chapter 677. For a long time, Lin Rei didn't react to his son's words. After all, this matter happened too suddenly. Moreover, he even asked his granddaughter to call him Big Brother. Lin Rei felt awkward. "Brat, don't say it. You made me feel so awkward. Let's see how I'll deal with you in the future." When Lin Li came back to his senses, he looked at Lin Yun with his divine sense and muttered in his heart. However, Lin Li was very fond of this cute and obedient granddaughter. Moreover, he couldn't let Lin Yun know what he was thinking. If he knew, he would definitely run away. Phew. Granddaughter. Looking at the little girl, Lin Rei felt melancholy. After all, he had already lost his granddaughter. If he was still on his original planet, he would have turned into a pile of dirt by now. "Grandpa, are you all right?" At this moment, the little girl's voice sounded once more. Lin Rei immediately came back to his senses. He reached out and hugged the 5-year-old Lin Ling with a smile on his face. When Ning saw this scene, she also smiled. It wasn't because of Lin Ling, but because her husband hadn't smiled like this in a long time. Ling, not bad. This name is not bad. It's exquisite and cute. It's worthy of my granddaughter's name, Lin Rei. Not bad. Looking at his granddaughter in his arms, Lin Rei's face was filled with a never-before-seen smile. The calmness from before had disappeared at this moment. Sun Yuan, who was originally worried about this, had a new understanding of her father-in-law at this moment. "You're Sun Yuan?" Lin Li asked as he raised his head and scanned the woman next to Lin Yun with his spirit sense. Yes. Father. Seeing how nervous she was, Lin Rei was stunned for a moment before he smiled. "Why are you so nervous? I'm not a tiger. You don't have to be so afraid. But since you're already married to my son, you two have to support each other in the future. If that brat bullies you in the future, feel free to look for me. See if I don't skin him alive." Lin Yun's body trembled when he heard those words. He lowered his head and didn't dare to say anything else. I understand, father." Looking at them, Lin Rei was extremely happy. Following which, he called out to the scarlet flame tiger behind him, "Little tiger, come here." "Woo!" Hearing Lin Rei's call, the scarlet flame tiger roared, then quickly walked to his side and spoke in human language. "Young master, why are you looking for me?" Grandpa. He can speak human language. At this moment, Lin Ling exclaimed. Her face was full of joy. Lin Rei, who had been looking at her, smiled and rubbed her head. He then said to her, "Of course, don't look at him first. He's an emperor god beast. Even in the entire divine world, there aren't many of them. Moreover, his bloodline is even stronger. At this point, Lin Ray didn't stop and continued, "Do you want to ride it?" "Father, you can't." At this moment, when Lin Yun heard his father's words, he immediately tried to stop him. However, just when he was halfway through his words, Lin Ray interrupted him, "Shut up. I'm talking to my granddaughter. You have no right to interrupt. Scram to the side." When he said that, everyone present, including the Scarlet Flame Tiger, was speechless. At this moment, no one present had seen Lin Ray's current state. However, at this moment, Lin Ling, who had been hiding in Lin Ray's arms, giggled when she saw her father being scolded. Hearing his daughter's laughter, Lin Yun's face turned red. He looked up and said softly, "Father, you, in front of my daughter, can't you give me some face? If you're like this, how can I discipline her in the future? TSK, I don't care. Anyway, you can't touch my granddaughter. If you're touched, see if I don't skin you alive." With that said, he didn't wait for Lin Yun to refute and went to the Scarlet Flame Tiger's back. Then, he placed Ling Air on its back and said, "Let's go, little tiger. Take me to see what this Xuanzong sect has become. I haven't seen it for so long, let's see if it has changed." "Yes, young master." Hearing Lin Ray's order, the Scarlet Flame Tiger immediately used its cultivation. A moment ago, it was still in front of everyone's eyes, but the next moment, it disappeared. This scene made everyone very confused, including Ying, Lin Yun, and the rest. However, to Xie Feng, it was nothing. "Alright, you guys stay here. I'll go see what that brat wants." This sudden sentence made everyone look at Xie Feng. In response, Lin Yun looked at her, and suddenly, his eyes were filled with confusion and venerable realm. After all, this was a brat who could call him father. Moreover, Ying and the rest didn't say anything. Based on this, he could guess that this woman was not simple. A woo, the cry of a phoenix was heard. It was originally a peerless beauty, but in the next moment, she turned into a phoenix that was 100 feet tall. The cold murderous aura around her spread to the entire sect's entrance at this moment. What? How is this possible? This murderous aura. At this moment, Lin Yun, who felt Xie Feng's murderous aura, froze on the spot, unable to move. Especially when he saw her suddenly turn into a phoenix, Lin Yun was even more in disbelief. "Alright, will the three of you stay here, or will you follow me to chase after Lin Ray?" Xie Feng, who had turned into a phoenix, looked down at the three ghost kings and asked. "We will follow Senior Xie Feng to find the young master's trace." Hearing Xie Feng's words, the three of them looked at each other. Then, they calmed down and released their cultivation, floating in the air. "Alright, since this is the case, let's go." Looking at the actions of the three of them, Xie Feng took action. She spread her wings and her huge figure disappeared in an instant, leaving only a gust of wind behind. The three ghost kings, who had been following Xie Feng, watched as Xie Feng disappeared. Then, they didn't stay any longer and chased after Xie Feng. They were so fast that no one knew how they disappeared. F*CK, what the F*CK is going on? At this moment, Lin Yun, who was standing at the sect's entrance, saw this dramatic scene. Instantly, his heart was filled with doubts. He came to the side of the male brother and asked curiously, "Uncle Dong, what exactly is going on? Those people are, they were all subdued by your father." "Of course, I'm talking about the three people who left, but the phoenix at the beginning also followed him of her own accord. As for how your father did it, none of us know." Speaking of this, the male brother paused for a moment and then said again, "When your father went to the 9 underworlds, he was still fine. However, when he came back, although he brought back a powerful Xie Feng, he was already blind when he appeared again." What? Lin Yun, who had been listening attentively, was stunned. He knew about the 9 underworlds and he also knew what his father was doing. However, he couldn't understand why his father was blinded when he could subdue such a powerful existence. Lin Yun didn't dare to imagine that there were powerful existences in the divine realm who loved his father. However, this was the only explanation for this matter. After all, only someone stronger could have such strength. Alright, let's not talk about this anymore. You have to remember that Xie Feng isn't your father's subordinate, so you have to be respectful to her in the future. As for the other three, you have to treat them with respect as well. After all, they are peak ultimate gods and are already half a step into the saint realm. Do you hear me? Yes. 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 Lin Yun was shocked when he heard that, especially when he heard that the three of them were half a step into the saint realm. He admired his father even more. Alright, let's go. We can't stay here forever. At this moment, Ying, who had been silent all this while, spoke to everyone and took the lead to walk into the sect alone. At this moment, Lin Yun only realized that he had forgotten about Ying's existence when he heard Ying's words. Lin Yun suddenly wanted to slap himself. Greetings, father. She is my father's wife, Ying. She has a son and a daughter with my father. Then, without waiting for Sun Yuan to prepare, Lin Yun immediately chased after Ying with his arms around her waist. In response, the male brother who saw this scene smiled and then led Hong Lian and the others through the mountain gate. It was also at this moment that the mountain gate closed. Grandpa, this is so handsome. And this tiger, he is so cute and domineering. I like it so much. At this moment, the red flame tiger, who had left the mountain gate, was carrying Lin Rei and Lin Ling in the air. At this moment, Lin Ling, who was sitting on its back, giggled. Looking at his granddaughter, the more Lin Rei looked at her, the more he liked her. However, the red flame tiger was a little unhappy with her words. Young master, is there such a thing as cute and domineering together in this world? PFFF, at this moment, after hearing the little dragon's words and thinking about what his granddaughter had said, he felt that it made sense. After all, it was a little awkward to put cute and domineering together. Alright, go and network. After all, she is still young. When she grows up, she won't say that anymore. Looking at the red flame tiger, Lin Rei couldn't help but comfort it. Then, looking at Lin Ling in his arms, Lin Rei smiled. Then, with a thought, a jade pendant made of 1,000,000 years old warm jade appeared in his hand. Looking at the jade pendant, he realized that it had taken him a Herculean effort to complete it. It had many uses, and this jade pendant probably didn't even exist in the god realm. It was worth at least a few 100 million gold coins. You're tuning into the A Romantic Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.